Well, hello there, and welcome back to another episode of DCU Daily. And we have also got, of course, as always, we're going to do a little bit of news today. So, there's lots to talk about. I mean, of course, we've got DC stuff, we've got a little bit of Marvel news, we've got some video game news. George Miller might be heading over to the MCU. And of course, there's the big Superman news, the Puppy Bowl. What is Superman going to be doing at the Puppy Bowl this year? We'll get into that, of course. And then, as you probably saw in the thumbnail, we do have to talk about Lobo and potentially I mean, look, let's be honest, they're probably going to give Lobo his own movie, and when they do, then it's going to need a director. So we're going to see what options are on the table or potentially are good options. There's of course a lot of directors out there who might do a Lobo movie very well. We're going to give you our opinion on who we think might be the best pick. So to do that and so much more, let's start things off with, of course, as always, what we do. We're gonna do some news, and then we're gonna dive into DCU Daily. So yeah, let's do the news.
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always number two.
All right, mister, I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding.
Robert
You're
Downey.
kidding. I can't open the envelope without the...
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne. I like that. You're gonna love me.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see corns.
Right there.
You look ridiculous.
Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
What the needs now?
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much.
Oh, wow. Wow.
All right, well, let's do the news, shall we? I know that recently there was that little thing that Will Smith posted about how he might be coming into the Matrix finally after he declined the role of Neo decades ago. There's a video about that on our channel which is popping off recently, and you guys are you're giving us your opinions, including that maybe he should just go around slapping people, agents in there, or that he should play Neo, and then Chris Rock should play Agent Smith. That'd be fantastic. I wouldn't mind that. And then of course, some of you guys are just like, no, there's no need for it. The idea that there's multiple versions of the Matrix, so you don't even have to do a reboot. But if you haven't already, go check that out. That was an episode of the news. But today on the news, you've got lots to talk about. It's a Friday, so we got to wrap up the week with what's been going on this week. Of course, there's stuff going on out in the world that isn't necessarily that the best stuff. The houses burning down and just people having to evacuate out in LA. So we hope that if you are out there, that you're staying safe, and if you're in the line of fire, then you're hopefully able to evacuate to a safer location, and hopefully you're able to take your belongings and all the sentimentals with you, especially if you're near one of the fire zones. So we're wishing you the very best of luck. But in the meantime, we do have to get into the news. To do that with me today, I've got John. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good. Anyway, let's not get too far into that because we got a lot of stuff. Let's not do smolder stuff because we got a lot of shit today. We have a lot of shit to get to, and we got lots of shit. I mean, look, it's also be like 5 hours.
We have also, basically logged on today a little bit earlier, just a little bit earlier than we usually do. So hopefully we can catch some of you guys who are not usually able to watch us live. It's a Friday. We want to, take a bit of time with our friends and family in the evening. So we figured we, get on a little bit earlier in the day. And then, of course, if you didn't get a chance to check us out live, you could still click on, exactly. Sleep is also good. You could click onto the video later on and watch it in your own time, as a lot of you guys do, and leave the comments. So we do enjoy that, of course. But John, let's get the news started here, shall we? So one of the big pieces of news this week was that Monday Night Raw debuted on Netflix. It's again Netflix's continued foray into live events, and it's finally got the WWE, one of the biggest live event companies in the world. They've been around for decades. Of course, you see John Cena on the screen over there. Yeah, can you actually see him though? Like, why is he always blinking when I pause? I'll try that again.
Well, you can't see him.
Oh, so there you go. That's perfect. Yeah, I know. I don't even know. There's nobody there on the podium. I'm just saying somebody's talking and somebody's asking questions, but I don't see anybody because the reporter's like, John, it's great to see you here. He's like, see me? I just love that he has hopped on board this trend after years of people just making that a meme online. He's definitely caught on to it. But hey, look, Monday Night Raw debuted on Netflix. It's gonna be now basically on Netflix, 3 hour long show, 8 p.m. Mondays Eastern time, that is, and the first episode, it looks like, drew in quite a few viewers. Now, there were some numbers that Reuters put out, so I wanted to kind of quickly go through this because I felt like it was significant. Because, hey, look, streaming...
I'm just going to catch some Z's here.
I'm just saying, look, the world of streaming with the NFL having those Christmas games, Tom Brady's roast, there's Netflix is trying to have a bigger and bigger footprint. Each and every month they're signing on with new events, comedy specials, stuff like that. And now with the WWE, again, you have a significant presence weekly. Just a quick look at the numbers, though. This is just the first week, so they can clearly grow from here. But it averaged 1.6 million viewers, the show did, on USA Network up until the Netflix debut. And then on Netflix this week, it averaged 2.6 million viewers. That's pretty much an increase of 50-60%. It's almost double, quite frankly. So that's a big upgrade, of course, because hey, look, we live in an era now where while a lot of people still have cable, way more people have Netflix. I think we crossed that threshold after years of streaming being the disruptor. Now it's the mainstream. So with that in mind, I mean, it was the highest rated, one of the highest rated episodes Monday Night Raw has had in a while. The highest rated episode they had last year on USA Network was 2.36 million viewers, and on their first episode on Netflix they already hit 2.6. And then if you look at the global numbers, because Netflix has the rights to WWE Monday Night Raw across many parts of the world, not everywhere just yet, but the vast majority of the world will be able to see Raw on Netflix now, and it's part of their 10-year $5 billion deal with Netflix, that is, for WWE. And I think the global number was also pretty impressive. Over almost 5 million, 4.9 million viewers tuned in worldwide on Netflix to see Monday Night Raw. And it was a special episode. Of course, they had the Undertaker returned, John Cena returned to start off his what he's calling his farewell tour. So it looks like he's finally retiring from the WWE this year. So I'm excited to see his final run all the way till WrestleMania and such. But beyond that, you had a Hulk Hogan moment where the entire crowd in the Intuit Dome in LA booed him out the building, and he's not happy about that. But I'm like, what else do you expect, man? It's LA, and you went to the RNC, and you did what you did, and you're here to promote your energy drink or whatever, or beer. It wasn't the best thing ever. But I mean, John, for you, even if you're not a big fan of wrestling, how do you see this affecting just the future of live events on streaming? The fact that now they will have this 3-hour show that's going to be a staple. It's not just a one-time you got 2 games at Christmas for the NFL, or you have a roast of Tom Brady that's a one-time event. This is something that they will have 52 weeks of programming with Monday Night Raw, and then of course WWE has other non-live VOD programming on Netflix now as well. Do you think this is going to have a big impact and also give Netflix a lot of data to then see be able to expand further into other sports leagues?
Sounds pretty cool.
Cool. All right. Well, with that, we're gonna keep the ball rolling here because
I'm sorry. Good on streaming. We're in kind of the hybrid right now of streaming. I hope actually because as we all know, I'm a fan. When it comes to the cinematic experience, that's the thing I care about. I don't want streaming to take away from that. But streaming, I don't mind it taking away from cable, because fuck cable. Cable sucks. So as long as as we get one step closer to getting all the sports on streaming stuff, one step closer I can get to convincing my dad to get better fucking internet, so we don't have to keep paying for fucking Optimum. So I'm cool about that. I'm cool with that. So whatever I'm cool steps they need to make I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm cool with it too. I mean, look, it's already there. A lot of sports leagues already have streaming, exclusive rights. Even the NFL, which was a latecomer, does that now. The NBA, has significant streaming rights. That's a big part of their new deals. We've got a lot of people in the chat right now. We got Caleb in here. Honka honka, Caleb. Of course, we got Kavari in here. Welcome on in, Kavari. We don't see you very often. And we've got Figure Drawing. He's saying WWE is for 10-year-olds with nothing better to do. 3 hours, I mean, dang. Well, I mean, look, I don't think it's just for 10-year-olds at this point. I mean, we've got Lenny in the chat. Hello, Lenny. We haven't seen you in a long time. This is why we go live early in the day, right, John? Because we want to talk to Lenny. And Lenny's here.
That's it. That's literally the only reason.
It's completely our decision has paid off.
We need like a celebratory clip of like when we get Lenny on, just like just like fireworks. It just be like thanks Lenny for coming on. And then it's just like a huge to do. We need a clip like that.
Oh no, we do. I'm trying to see if we have anything like that already.
I'm not being sarcastic. We love to have you here. We've missed you for the past couple of weeks. We've been very sad without you. Okay,
there you go.
Let's not get demonetized.
That's how we celebrate Lenny showing up. It's like, this is how Lenny walks into the building.
Hey, well, Caleb, you know what? You were like going ham last night, so you got a ton of attention last night. We're giving it to we weren't avoiding you. We just, blame Liz. She's the one that wanted to go live at 10 p.m. So like, blame her. It's her fault.
But Caleb is like, it's real to me, damn it. Well, I know, Caleb. Wrestling is still real to me too. But hey, Professor John in the house. Fiona's watching, and Fiona suggesting that maybe Will Smith should play Morpheus if they are doing a Matrix reboot rather than playing a Neo. Yeah, I mean, I think age-wise it fits. Even though I think he's older than Lawrence Fishburne.
I think he's as old as Lawrence Fishburne, but he looks younger.
Yeah, he looks. I mean, that's the thing. I was like, Will Smith looks a lot younger than he actually is.
Black Crack.
Exactly. That's right. I mean, they use all that gold bond, and it's.
That's what I'm using right now. I got my gold bond.
Me too, dude. I jumped on that gold bond train, and I've never looked back.
I would say if you get chapped hands really easily, get the extra strength body lotion anti-itch. This shit is like this. This is why I have nice soft hands. I also have Beekman body cream. Very good to use. Very moisturizing.
Yep. This is that part of the show where we're like, giving you our best advice for skincare.
Guys, like, you know what? Like, I'm sick of being the white ashy guy. I wanna like actually fucking moisturize myself. God forbid.
Yeah, Fiona's like, I need that gold bond. Don't worry, I got you covered. I've got plenty of shea butter and all the other stuff that they got, Mince pies are great too. I could go for one right now. But Lenny and Fiona are chatting it up.
Thank you.
Hosea's in the chat. Hosea XCI, good morning
Hosea.
to you.
And Fiona.
Good morning to you.
Oh no, Fiona, don't say that. I'm sure you're aging with grace.
Yeah, she is. She's just being self-deprecating. She's
Fiona, we don't do that.
Just fine.
We don't do. Delete that footage. We don't do that here.
By the way, Kavari stopped by to say that not sure how a Lobo movie would work with a general audience.
I did respond to that, but I said, like, if Deadpool 1 through 3 can work, Lobo can work.
Yes. Yes.
And
we also got Nelson in the chat. Nelson, I know you're a big WWE fan. He's saying John Cena versus CM Punk for the WWE Championship at the December pay-per-view. I mean, we had that whole feud back in the day. Maybe we'll go back there. Maybe John Cena does need to cross paths with CM Punk one last time this year. We'll see. Caleb is like, I love aged milk, yummy chunkies. Well, I'll let you.
We can save you the chunky milk.
Yeah. Hosea saying, did you see the new photo of Superman? Man, he's handsome. No diddy. Yes, no, we will get into that. That is actually part of the show today. So we're starting off with the news as always, and then we will dive into some of the other quick hits, and then of course we'll have DCU Daily proper.
Not even like 10 minutes in, Lenny's already acting horny in the chat.
Hey, Lenny, it's just nom nom indeed, Fiona, is what I'll say. Anyway, so with that in mind, let's take a look at this graphic, shall we?
Let's take a look at this graphic, guys.
Culture Crave put up this. They put together this chart of all the big franchise movies that are coming out this year. Because of course, there's a lot of like other movies that are not on this list. These aren't the only movies you'll see in a movie theater this year. But as far as 2025 goes in the genre movie sphere, you see there's a lot of big franchise films. So I'm gonna like zoom into this a little bit.
Paul Thomas Anderson's movie got delayed, so that's not happening anymore in 2025.
Well, that's one less here, but still, I mean, the mass majority of this still holds true at the very top of the list.
I'm going to be seeing a lot of these.
Yeah, I mean,
Definitely.
at the very top of the list, you've got the 4 superhero movies. Like, you got 1 DC and 3 Marvel movies. Of course, I know that there would have been probably just 2 Marvel movies this year if Captain America hadn't gotten delayed because of the writer's strike. But we are getting 3 of them. We are getting the Superman movie, which, like, a lot of expectations riding on that. We'll get into that later. We do have that first, not first, but a new look at Superman. We have also got a new look at Jurassic World Rebirth coming up. The Karate Kid Legends, that trailer is still living, rent free in my mind. Mission Impossible:
Really
Final
good.
Reckoning. I saw some behind the scenes of like their shoot, how they shot some of the underwater sequences with Tom Cruise, and that looks fantastic.
I'm excited for Mickey 17. I'm excited for Sinners. Sinners looks really good.
Dude, Paddington 3 might complete one of the greatest movie trilogies of all time. Like, if you're a fan of that.
The first two. Everyone's saying it's like how amazing those movies are, and I'm like, I need to watch them. I
haven't seen all of them either, but like I need to catch up. And also.
Far left, not I Am Steve.
Mortal Kombat 2. There's a lot of sequels. There's Mortal Kombat 2, Zootopia 2, The Accountant 2, The Black Phone 2, Nobody 2,
Tron
Ares. Saw 11, whatever, Megan 2.0. There's so many. You see, the majority of the movies on here are sequels, or have some kind of number in the title.
Now You See Me 3, Avatar 3, Insidious 6.
Wake Me Up Dead Man, A Knives Out mystery. We get another one of those. The SpongeBob movie, that's like the third
28
SpongeBob
years
movie.
later, that's a third movie.
Another Conjuring movie. There's
Wicked for Good is a sequel.
Yep. Lilo and Stitch looks interesting. That's gonna make money. Dude, Michael is gonna make $1 billion. That's like, there's 2 movies on this list which I don't think people understand how big they're going to be. And obviously Avatar: Fire and Ash will probably make more money than any movie on this list because it's Avatar. But when you look at Michael, and then when you look at F1, you see that at the top there, F1, and you see down below Michael. Those 2 movies, people don't realize just how popular F1 is around the world. You may not watch it yourself.
Yeah, no,
Formula One.
Yeah. F1. It's not NASCAR.
Huge.
It's like F1 is.
F1 is on
like
a different level.
On like internationally.
Yeah.
It's huge.
I mean, Lenny's saying Snow White is gonna tank hard. I mean, it's gonna have a tough path. I don't think it's gonna make $1 billion.
Because here's the thing: it's an even split. I think personally, you have the people, you have like all the Disney adults and the Disney fans that are gonna go see it, like 100%. Where they go see everyone. That's why Mufasa's killing it right now too. So, well, mainly internationally, but with Snow White, because the thing is. It's just Papyrus Bold anyway. So you have, but then you have we got to add that to the quotes. Then then the other half are like the people that are refusing to see it. They're like, this looks like garbage. There's no respect from Disney. There's no respect from the actresses involved. She looking like Lord Farquaad in that fucking wig, like. And the CGI looks like complete nightmare fuel with those dwarves, and it's just like, guys, what are we doing here? But the thing is, it's still Disney. At the end of the day, they'll still make money. I don't know if they're gonna make it's not. I don't think it's not gonna make $1 billion or anything like that. I don't know what the budget is either, but I think it'll probably make double its budget. Like I would go so far as to say that, like, it's not gonna fail. Like, it's definitely not gonna fail.
I mean, look, you also, Hosea saying Michael. He or she wants to have Michael make $1 billion. Look, here's the thing. It's not, Elvis and One Love, the Bob Marley movies, those did not make $1 billion.
Elvis and Bob Marley are not
Michael Jackson. Like, dude,
Michael
think
Jackson
about this.
Was another level.
It was, and it's also like, here's a better comparison. Bohemian Rhapsody, which, look, Queen was another level too. That movie, Bohemian Rhapsody, made like $900 million, and then of course Rami Malek like won Oscars and all that stuff. That, I think, is a closer gauge of where Michael will be headed. And Michael Jackson, look, Queen is one of the greatest bands of all time, one of the greatest, pop
Freddie Mercury
groups.
is the greatest frontman of
the
all
greatest
time.
the greatest frontman of all time, the greatest rock song of all time, Bohemian Rhapsody. They are one of the greats. But let's be honest, Michael Jackson is when
people talk numbers in regards to, look, Taylor Swift does this, Beyonce does this, numbers don't mean fucking anything. Michael Jackson, nobody has ever unlocked that level of fame, and nobody ever will again. Especially in the days of social media, nobody will ever unlock that level of fame.
And he did all of that in a world without social media.
Without social media, exactly.
It was yeah, it's just yeah. People don't
I'm
realize how
excited.
big Michael
Plus, you got
Jackson was.
Anton Fuqua, who's a great director.
Great director.
And
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
his nephew playing him, and that looks.
He looks
like
very much like him. Like the mannerisms, the voice.
I'm not excited for the only biopics I would say I'm excited for is, by the way, Benny Safdie's The Smashing Machine with The Rock. That actually looks really good. We might actually get a good performance from The Rock and not just him playing himself in 20 trillion movies. So there's that. I'm excited for Michael, and I'm excited for that boxing movie with Sydney Sweeney. That looks genuinely really good. Like that looks really interesting. And I know like 2 of those are boxing movies, but like boxing movies are really good. Like
they are. It's done well.
Be-all, end-all,
clearly, yes, yeah. I mean, but dude, you're getting a lot. Again, there's a lot of sequels in here, right? Yep. And speaking of which, Nelson saying 28 years will be huge. I think it will be big. I don't know if it will be huge, but yeah, 28 years later, Wicked for Good, The Den of Thieves 2
By the way, it
out
was
this
announced
week.
that Danny Boyle is going to direct the 3rd movie in the 28 years.
He's producing
trilogy.
The second. Yes,
he's producing the second, which is directed by Nia DaCosta, who did Marvels and the Candyman requel. She's directing the second one, The Bone Temple, and then Danny Boyle just announced he's coming back to direct the 3rd one. So we're gonna have a Star Wars sequel trilogy situation. Hopefully that's not the case, but you know, I'm just saying like he's coming back. But I think he wanted a break, and then I think Nia DaCosta is a good director, but I just feel like she's been kind of let down by all these projects. So hopefully Bone Temple can show off her talents. But I'm excited for Dogman. I don't care what anybody says. I am excited for Dogman.
It's gonna be fun. I mean, look, there's also The Day the Earth Blew Up, which is I think a Looney Tunes movie. If it's done well, I'm gonna go see it myself.
And I will say, if The Day the Earth Blew Up does really fucking well, guys, go see it. There might be hope for Coyote versus Acme. Then there might be hope that they won't just like fucking dump it in a vault somewhere like Batgirl, and we'll actually maybe get the movie. So, guys, go see Day the Earth Blew Up. It's coming out next month, I believe. So
it's coming out soon. There's also, of course, Antonio in the chat. Hello, Antonio, and dropping by.
Hello.
Thanks for joining in. That Anaconda movie just makes me absolutely creep the fuck out. So I'm not going to be watching that movie. But I am looking forward to seeing if Five Nights at Freddy's 2 does well. The first one was just a surprising hit. There's another Final Destination movie coming out this year. You can see that. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein is coming out this year. We already had a Frankenstein in Creature
The
Commandos.
Amateur looks surprisingly really good.
I want to see how good the Predator movie is. There's also an animated Predator film coming out. Predator Badlands is, I think, a live action one.
I'm stoked for Predator fucking Predator in World War II. That just sounds fucking amazing. And Prey was great.
Yeah. It was great, and you know what? Speaking of sequels, I mean, Peaky Blinders. That Peaky Blinders movie is finally coming out this year.
Yeah,
and Cillian Murphy is not involved.
For like 5-6 years.
Yeah, I mean, but he's not involved in the 28 years later. He might be coming back in the later movie. He's certainly not part of the one coming out this year. He is, of course, gonna lead the Peaky Blinders movie, so that's gonna be fun. Freakier Friday. I mean, speaking of long overdue sequels.
You know what I'm excited for? The Kendrick Lamar Trey Parker movie. That sounds really funny. So I'm definitely gonna be seeing that.
I want to see just how bad The Conjuring Last Rites is, and then I'm actually genuinely interested in seeing if Now You See Me 3 is good, because the second movie was a downgrade for me from the first, but I hope that the third movie they get back to being good, and I want to see if Mark Ruffalo's character actually gets something interesting to do.
I'm excited for Nobody 2, definitely.
Nobody 2, dude, that's going to underrate it. Elio, that might be one of the best, if not the best animated movie of the year. I mean, that's a Pixar film, them doing something original.
I liked it better when it was called The Last Starfighter.
But yeah, I mean, Sinners, you've got, Paddington 3 we mentioned already. How to Train a Dragon live action, we're gonna actually talk about that in a little bit. The Minecraft movie, like Your Mileage
May Vary. Steve. I will say Ballerina looks really good. That trailer.
It does. And they added a lot more action into it. It's basically John Wick 3.5 because it takes place between the third and the fourth John Wick movies. And we're going to get a lot more, Keanu Reeves in it than we initially realized. So, hey, you know what?
If Len Wiseman was like, all right, okay, I'm going to try and direct this. And then Chad Stahelski, this is garbage. Fucking Len, get the fuck out of here. Go do
we
another
need more
fucking
action.
Underworld movie. Get this the fuck out of here. Chad Stahelski. Fine. I'll do it myself. And so he came in and really did a lot of the reshoots for that movie. So hopefully it's good because of that.
And you know what? Tron Ares has a lot of potential.
No.
I just hope that it sticks.
Honka honka.
And Zootopia 2, the first Zootopia made $1 billion. I wonder if the second one will too, that's going to be interesting. RayJ365 saying, I'm also excited for the K-Dot Trey Parker movie. That I have heard about that one. I have not done a ton of research there. Caleb saying,
you want to know what it's about? Very South Park like premise. It's about a guy played by Kendrick. I think Kendrick Lamar is playing him. Because I know he's producing it. I forget if he's starring in it, but so the main character is a guy, he's playing a slave reenactor, and he finds out that his girlfriend's ancestors owned his ancestors, and then chaos ensues. Very Trey Parker, Matt Stone. Matt Stone isn't involved, but Trey Parker is... he's directing it and writing it. And I'm like, oh, that sounds fucking hilarious.
I mean, it's what I'm also interested in finding out is if Wake Up Dead Man is gonna get a limited theatrical release, because you remember the previous Knives Out movie. I'm forgetting the name of it. The
Glass
something to do with the Glass Onion.
The only thing I actually remember from that movie, because it was so fucking forgettable.
That it did have a limited theatrical release and it did really, really well. So I hope that Netflix does release it, because Ryan Johnson is like, I would like to see this in a movie theater. But it's gonna be on Netflix nonetheless, where even if it doesn't come out in a movie theater, or if it does, maybe it will be there for a couple of weeks and we can go see it on a big screen. But hey, look, of course, Nelson was saying it, Fantastic Four and Superman. I think those are the two biggest superhero movies of the year, in terms of both expectation and then also them having the potential to perform as well. I mean, they can both make $1 billion. Avatar will probably make and Avatar's gonna make $1 billion. Let's be honest. It's more a question of, is it gonna make $2 billion? Because the first two movies did. Is the third one gonna do it? That's something we got to.
I could see at the very least getting like 1.5. I don't know if like
exactly.
2 billion,
I think that's probably the floor, which is like for a movie franchise to have a floor of 1.5. That's amazing. The Accountant 2 is a movie that is so long overdue, man. I've been waiting for that sequel from the moment the first movie came out, so I can't wait for that. And
the closest we'll get to a Batman movie.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as long as Ben Affleck was involved, I was really excited for like what we were going to potentially get with his, because it was like supposedly the best written script that I've ever seen.
Lenny,
for Batman.
He's going to be making 5 in total, so 3 more including Fire and Ash.
Yeah. Chris is in the chat saying Superman will make $1 billion, and then Ray J saying 5 or 6. Yeah, so exactly. You should check out The Accountant.
The Accountant is definitely really good movie. It's
very underrated.
The Punisher is in it too, John Bernthal.
Yes.
So
and there's a twist we're not going to reveal for you, but definitely watch it.
They all die. No, Anna Kendrick is in it as well. John Lithgow is, I think, in it. Good cast. Gavin O'Connor is a great director. He was considered as one of the directors to take over for the Suicide Squad sequel, but I think he either turned it down or they just went with James Gunn instead. But Gavin O'Connor is a really good director.
Yep. Well, yeah, Lenny. Another Terminator movie.
No more Terminator. Just like they all don't exist outside the second one. They all don't exist.
I still would venture a guess that maybe once upon a time when if James Cameron is still alive and he's done with the Avatar movies, that he might go back and do a Terminator film. I would pay good money to see a James Cameron Terminator sequel. I'm just saying.
I mean, we got it. It was Terminator Dark Fate. He produced it and it sucked.
I know, but it wasn't really. I mean, again, but he wasn't so closely involved. I'm just saying, if James Cameron was doing it, I would at least be curious to see what he wants to do with the story. But anyway, you know what? There are a bunch of other movies. I mean, a lot of the movies that we already talked about on that list. We got a new look for all those movies because today there was a USA Today special, and they released some photos. Just new looks at characters from the movies like Superman, Jurassic World Rebirth, Thunderbolts, and How to Train Your Dragon, the live-action one. So I know earlier one of you guys were asking about what about that new photo of Superman? Well, here's the photo. We're gonna get into it in a little more detail later on because there was some news regarding why this photo was released today, and we're gonna talk about that in DCU Daily. But for the time being, another look at the suit. I can see the yellow outline on the logo, but you can also, in the higher resolution photo we're gonna look at later, you can kind of see there's a blue outline, but it blends into the suit. So ultimately, if if you were to rip the crest off his chest, it would have the red, the yellow, and then there's a little bit of blue on the edges. But really, from afar, you wouldn't be able to tell that the blue outline. So I don't think that in the poster versus what we saw on set were two different suits. It's just that from a distance versus up close, where low res versus high res, you lose a little bit of detail. But I've got, he looks fantastic here. This hairstyle matches closely to some of the behind the scenes shots that we got before from the one they were filming in Cincinnati. It looks like this is one of those shots from Cincinnati. You've got the people in the background there. So I'm excited again. Another great look at Superman, John. What do you think about this, new look?
Fucking goated. Let's go. Let's get another one for our boy.
Exactly. And then, of course, you got Jurassic World Rebirth, another look at this movie, which it looks like they're going back to. This feels like the lost world of the new era of Jurassic Park or Jurassic World. Like, I'm hoping that it's actually a good movie because, I mean, I enjoyed the last one, but it wasn't, ultimately.
I've heard Fallen Kingdom and Dominion were sucked major.
Dude, come on! Like anytime I can get myself a little bit of Jeff Goldblum, I'm fine with that.
But like I could watch the original Jurassic Park. Again, I can't judge it. I haven't seen it. I just heard it was bad. But hey, it did make $1 billion, so what the fuck do I know?
Hosea asking, are you excited for Mortal Kombat 2? Yes, I am excited. It's gonna be a terribly paced, and there's gonna be no script for it. But I'm just gonna love the action and the VFX because it did that so well.
I haven't seen the first one. I was gonna watch it, and then all my friends said it was really horrible, and they said Cole Young was like the worst thing since cancer. So I didn't end up watching it. Maybe I'll watch it in preparation for the sequel.
Yep. The new look at Thunderbolts, I mean, it's pretty much looks like a screenshot from one of the trailers we got recently. But again, you've got Yelena Belova. You've got, I think that's the Ghost in the middle, right? Or is she? Yeah, that's the Ghost. And then you have what you would refer to as, Walmart Captain America. But Wyatt Russell. He's a great actor. I hope he gets to shine a little bit more in this. Because I thought that they sort of, while they gave him a good arc, then in the back half of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, his character was a little wasted because there was a lot more potential, but Disney did not. I mean, it seemed like Marvel and Disney did not want to go. They made the
social commentary the most likable and interesting character from that show.
Yeah. But anyway, we also have another look here at the live action How to Train Your Dragon. I mean, again, this movie feels like probably one of the best, most well done live action adaptations of something that's animated. So far, visually, it looks
generic
great.
And bland.
To me, it looks like it's an accurate remake. It's doing a great job, at least with the character design. I don't want to see a fucking
accurate remake. If I want to watch the movie, I'll go watch the original animated movie. Why do I need to see the exact same thing but live action?
Look, if it works for Disney, then DreamWorks is like, maybe it'll work for us. So
I hope not. I hope this fucking bombs so we don't have to see any more fucking live action shit from DreamWorks. Only Disney can ruin their own franchises.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Speaking of ruining franchises, we got a lot more news to talk about, but let's do it in quick hit style, shall we? So let's hit that music, and we're gonna do some quick hits. So. There's the elevator music. Bossa Nova elevator. Let's go. All right. So, John, according to some rumors, Superman star David Cornsweet was spotted in the UK just days before Supergirl began filming. Of course, Supergirl is not begun filming just yet. It's starting to film, I believe, Monday is
3 days.
The day one. So it is literally, like you said, 3 days away. But do you think that David Cornsweet being in the UK days before Supergirl starts rolling cameras means that he has a role to play? Is he there for work or is he there for pleasure? What do you think?
I think it's very convenient because the last time that I didn't think this happened was when Tom Ellis was filming his cameo for Crisis. I was bent on him not being in it. Oh, it was just a plot convenience. But now I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say I think he is filming a cameo. I think he's there to, be there for Supergirl, because it would make sense that he gets like a small thing in the beginning. Maybe he's like, okay, Kara, you want to do this thing, whatever the story is, you go do it. I believe in you. Here's Crypto to help you out. And that's that. So yeah, I've learned my lesson. I'm gonna believe that he's there for the movie. Thank you, Lenny. Yeah. Obviously he is in Supergirl. I'm gonna believe he's there for the movie because it's way too fucking convenient that it just so happens David Cornsweet is in the UK.
He's probably gonna have a few scenes that are shot on the Leavesden studio.
I think it's more than a cameo. I think he's gonna get a small role.
Yep, it will probably be a large. It will be a bigger than a cameo, but it won't be like a featured role in the movie. But he will be in the movie, I think. I agree with you, Lenny and John. So, of course, we looked at this image earlier, but I found this interesting. Jonathan Bailey's career seems to be taking off, rising fast like a or a pterosaur. Yeah, pterosaur. A Jurassic reference there. Of course, he was recently in Bridgerton, then he has jumped into Wicked, and now he's in Jurassic World. The guy's in demand, but I mean, not a lot of people noticing him. He's not like, at the same level as I'm forgetting his name right now, Glenn Powell. But he's definitely working his way up. He
kind of looks like Dan Stevens, like
a little bit, right? Yeah,
brother here a little bit.
He might be a breakout star of the movie because he's alongside Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali, two very well-known award-winning actors.
I forgot he's gonna be in that.
He is.
Yeah, he's got to they got to put Blade on ice for now because he's doing Jurassic World Rebirth.
He put the Blade on the ice a long time ago, man. I don't know if he's going back to pick it up anytime soon.
No, I don't think. I think Jonathan Bailey could be a good Bruce Wayne. I don't think he could be a good Batman.
Well, speaking of the MCU, of course, George Miller has reportedly met with Kevin Feige about directing Thor 5. John, what are your thoughts? Would you like a Thor 5 that's directed by George Miller?
It would be better than the last two catastrophes in the Thor franchise, but would this make me go see it? Probably not, but considering that Furiosa and 3,000
He did direct Chris Hemsworth in that movie, right?
3,000 Years of Longing and Furiosa were not very good, so... I mean, to be fair, Furiosa was essentially Mad Max Fury Road, but Marvelized. So it felt like the Marvel Temu version of Mad Max Fury Road. So, him doing a Marvel movie next would work. He knows how to do their terrible CGI and god-awful storytelling perfectly. So you know what, George Miller, why don't you bring in your now terrible quality into the MCU's terrible quality?
I think I'm gonna still have fun with it. If it is a George Miller movie, he's gonna probably, like you said, do a good job. Fiona pointing out that yes, Jonathan Bailey was in Fellow Travelers, a good show. It's a great show. I think it's on Amazon Prime. It's got Matt Bomer in it, who's honestly one of the most gorgeous men in the whole wide world. I cannot deny that. Alongside Jonathan Bailey, but George Miller making a Marvel movie look. I think as far as Love and Thunder goes, it can't get any worse than that. So
it can.
And look, George Miller hits more times than he doesn't, so I'm excited for that if this turns out to be true. And then Ray J saying Furiosa was great in his opinion. So I mean, hey, look, a lot of people did like it. Yeah, I'm the outlier. I'm one of the idiots. Unfortunately, the movie didn't make any money, so like it is what it is. And we got Hunter Iggy dropping by. Hello, Hunter. Hosea saying, "Oh, George Miller from Happy Feet fame, cool." Come on, okay. Great. I mean, it just shows you he does a lot of different genres. Now,
of course, he did Lorenzo's Oil. He did Big in the City. He knows how to do a whole bunch of stuff.
Exactly. Now, with that said, speaking of genres, I just remember every time I see the word Doom in the video game context, I think about the movie with The Rock. No, I just think about the movie with The Rock in it, like back in the day when he was just starting out acting. Cause I watched it at an early age and it left an impression on me, even though it's a terrible movie. Doom: The Dark Ages is getting a full game reveal at the Xbox Developer Direct on January 23rd. Are you excited for that, John? Would you be interested in this movie?
The only Doom game I have played is the original Doom. I'm not really a Doom. I want to try to get into Doom more. Because it's just like a meme now. So I'm like, okay, it seems awesome. I'm gonna try. I got like the package where it was like Doom 1, 2, and 3, and then Doom 2016, I think it was. It was like the Ultimate Slayer pack. So I'm gonna hopefully maybe try to play that and maybe get in the spirit of Doom to play this because it definitely seems fun. It definitely seems really cool. And who doesn't love Doom Guy?
Yep. And now speaking of video game news, Assassin's Creed Shadows has been delayed to March 20th.
Total quality wise to the shit end of the stick now. We have this controversial sack of shit that's got delayed. What a surprise. So
yeah, well, we'll leave that there. And tonight, if you are watching TV, then you might be excited to watch Abbott Elementary crossover with It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It premieres on ABC tonight, John. Is that something that interests you? Are you a fan of either of the shows? Both of them, Emmy award-winning shows, of course.
Didn't this already premiere?
Did it? I don't know. Is it? I might be a day behind on this, but hey, would you watch the crossover if you haven't already?
I mean, I don't watch either show. Yeah, this premiered 2 days ago, Dan. This is really late.
Oh well, the news is a bit late. We're gonna keep the ball rolling. This is from today, or I was late last night, but Jason Statham, he's clocking in and kicking some butt in the first trailer for A Working Man. He's just a working man, right? Like, or is he? March 28th, he's not kidding. He's gonna beat up. I just love Jason Statham's movies because nowadays he just knows what he does well and he sticks to doing that. And I just love hearing the accent every once in a while. I know, like, oh, only Jason Statham sounds like that. Are you excited? Did you watch the trailer? Did you have fun?
No, I'm not watching this fucking garbage. This looks like Beekeeper Part 2.
This is directed by David Ayer, who directed, of course, Suicide Squad.
The guy who directed Honka Honka. Yeah,
I mean, he also directed Beekeeper last year with Jason Statham. So I'm
Which
like,
also
you know what?
Sucked. So like, stop, David Ayer, stop doing bargain bin action movies. Yeesh.
Look, Beekeeper made a good amount of money.
I'm bored of Jason Statham. I'm bored of his fucking bald ass head giving us a bad name. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, there's also the new Reacher trailer. We talked about it a few days ago.
Here we go.
Reacher season 3 looks amazing because it's, again, he's just out there now. This time he's working with this team to take down some bad guys. And at one point, his favorite sidekick, who's getting her own show, by the way, on Amazon Prime, she's like, I finally understand who you are. You like to you like to go find bad guys who think they can get away with shit and show them that they can't. And he's like, you just figured that out? I'm like, yes. You all know that's what Reacher does, and that's why we watch this show. It's a simple formula. It's the whole John Wick thing. You want to
there's a reason that
beating up bad guys.
The man behind it, I'm forgetting the author's name, but there's a reason that he's written like fucking 25 novels, Reacher novels.
Yep. They sell well, man. And then this is obviously another adaptation of one of the books. So I forget the name of the book that is being adapted for season 3. But the trailer looks fantastic. It's basically Reacher doing Reacher things. Lee Child, yes. But he's the author of all the books. But I mean, of course, this is the season where, we have like somebody who's twice the size of Reacher, which just to me seems very interesting how that, because it looks like they are gonna have a pretty big fight at some point in the show. He takes a few punches from the man. He's like, oh my god, this guy not only benches as much as I do, but he hits a lot harder than I can. So how do I level the odds? Speaking of leveling the odds, The Penguin has been having a lot of success recently, and a lot of people compared it to The Sopranos. The Sopranos, one of the greatest HBO shows, one of the greatest TV shows of all time, premiered 26 years ago today, John. Did you watch this show? Were you a fan of it? And what do you think about the legacy of the show?
My dad watched the show. Said it was great. I'm sure it's an amazing show. I'm just too lazy to watch it.
Well, hey,
also Persuader was the name of the Reacher novel that's the basis.
That's being adapted for season 3. Yep. Yeah.
Bad Luck in Trouble was the first one, and then so good times. Reacher I'm excited for, but Sopranos, amazing show. I just haven't seen it. I'm sure it's amazing. My dad says it's amazing. Everyone says it's amazing. Seen all the memes. That's the extent of my knowledge is memes and Gabagool, and that's it.
Gabagool. It's basically what Colin Farrell watches every day before he goes on set to play the Penguin. It gives.
I want to get out of this fucking suit.
Well, I mean, with that, we're gonna wrap up the news and quick hits. So let me hit a stop to that music. But if you did enjoy that, and you can hit that like button for us.
It's not Tom Clancy, Caleb. You fucking idiot.
Although they are doing a lot of Tom Clancy related stuff on Amazon Prime too, I believe, right? Like that's the other stuff. That's with like Alex Cross and all those other projects.
Oh yeah, I heard Cross was good.
But hey, thanks for watching the news. Thanks for watching Quick Hits. We'll bring you the latest news again, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. But now we have to switch gears because up next, as it says down below, it is time for DCU Daily. So let's get into that, shall we? So I'm going to flip the camera to myself. Welcome in to an episode of DCU Daily. We are glad that you are joining us today. We have so much to get into. We have to talk about Superman. We're going to talk about Lobo. And beyond that, of course, we'll talk about the Puppy Bowl. So with that in mind, of course, joining me as always, I've got John. What is the biggest piece of news that you came across that was DC related today?
I mean, so much. I mean, I think the Puppy Bowl thing is kind of funny. But yeah, it's all pretty exciting. Um, I just want to dive in. I just want to talk about all the Supermans and all that fun shit.
Well, let's do that right away, shall we? So, we're gonna start off with some news bits. We got a little bit of Superman stuff here. Then we're gonna get into the Puppy Bowl stuff later, and then of course the Lobo director situation. We love a good fan casting, so why not do that with the Lobo director? So, to start things off, you can see here on screen DC superstar, one of the artists who does a lot of work for DC, Dan Mora. He just gave us a pretty cool look at Superman, the James Gunn iteration of Superman, the costume we'll see this July in movie theaters.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got this comic book makeover where you see it in the comic book form. John, does it make you like the suit anymore? Or is this reminding
Makes
you
it
more
look
of...
better. I will say that.
Yeah.
I mean, as I've said many times, I don't love the suit. I like the idea of it. I just don't like the lines. But I like how it doesn't have all the fake muscles on it. So that's definitely... I like that aspect. Like, I like how they're not, like, eccentric. Like, because I don't think Superman would, like, do that on purpose. Like, oh, I need to accentuate my muscles type of shit. I think they just like, oh, he's wearing spandex, so that's what he does. So that's what I liked about, the Christopher Reeve suit. I mean, pretty much all the suits until, like because I like the smoothness of Superman.
Yeah.
I feel like it makes more sense for Batman to accentuate his muscles because he needs
No,
to do
but
that.
Batman has that. Like, Batman is physically, like...
Well, he's physically
next
fit,
level.
but, like, at the same time, he also needs to do that for intimidation factor. And then, it helps him be one with the night. So, I just don't think Superman... I think it fits more that he doesn't have that because, again, Superman doesn't really need to have muscles because he has super strength. Like, he doesn't, we just do that for a... I don't know what the word is, but like for a gratifying eye, it's like, okay, this guy has super strength because he has really big muscles, even though the muscles don't really add anything and they're not there for that reason.
It's more of a visual thing.
We need to see that because, like, then in our heads, it's like, okay, this guy is
powerful
strong
person.
Muscles.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, look, the artwork looks fantastic. I think I pulled up another version of it. Like, it's the same thing, but a little, closer look. I think this here is it could be a cover of a great companion, comic book that goes along with the movie. And I hope that we get this design more so in the comics at some point, especially if the Superman is going to be around a while. But I also noticed some elements, like, the shoulder element here. It feels like it's one big piece, which you can't see as closely with the looks we have got in the trailer. So I'm starting to see some more of, like, the logic behind the design elements of the costume, which I'm sure over time we'll get more and more of that. But it's nice. You got a little bit of elbow padding. It's a functional suit, it works. It's modernized. Of course, the cowl up is the way to go these days, apparently, with the Batman and Superman both having that. So there's that. Now, a little DC and Marvel related thing that I came across was I think it was IGN. Yes, it was IGN who posted some of their favorite, Marvel, DC, and other comic books that are coming out this year. You see a few of them on the screen here. I wanted to just kind of quickly go through some of the ones from the top of the list, because the list is long, and we could just look at a few of them. You got One World Under Doom. I mean, I think that's well timed, considering we're going to get a Dr. Doom potentially cameoing in Fantastic Four this year, and then getting him, RDJ in his full
Doctor Strange cape too.
It looks like. I mean, and maybe he's got the eye of what was the eye of, is Agamotto or something? What's the one that Doctor Strange had?
I don't know.
I forget the name, but it looks like he has that here. That is exactly true. And you got Fantastic Four in the background. You got Iron Man there, Miss Marvel, of course, or Captain Marvel rather, and then you have Vision on the right, Spider-Man, all of these other characters. Now, when we go further down the list, you've got Batman Hush 2. Are you excited for a sequel to Batman Hush?
Never read the first one.
Cool. All right. Well, we've also got this Mike Mignola's Bowling with Corpses. I have not heard this one before. I
prefer soup.
Cool. Are you excited for the expansion of the Ultimate Universe? We gotta get Wolverine.
Yeah, after
Ultimate
they
Universe
had it, then they got rid of it, and then they brought it back, realizing that's where the money lies. So, well, it's cool.
there's also the return of Vertigo on the DC side of
Speaking
things.
of
I'm
bringing
excited
things
about
back,
that. I want to see what they bring back with the Vertigo line. I think
I
that's
mean, as
something
long as
James
they
Gunn
don't bring
announced
in
last
Gerard
year.
Way, they should be fine.
Yeah. Well, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, we're gonna get some more new comics from that franchise,
Cool.
which still trying to find its footing in the movie theaters. But there's also a Deadpool Wolverine comic coming out this year. Off the success of the movie last year. And then I want to see what the Absolute Universe Wave 2 looks like. We talked about this cover of Martian Manhunter last year, but it looks fantastic. It looks interesting.
It definitely looks like they're trying to go into like the surrealist like shapeshifter thing of Martian Manhunter, like really make him look alien. So I really like that.
I do like that too. Morkatna's in the chat. Thick Superman coming soon. Hello, Morkatna. But yeah, I mean, look, that's the DC news, just the general stuff. Now we get into something a little more. Actually, no, we have a bit more to go. Never mind. I forgot that I had a bunch more open here before we get to
All
Superman.
the links.
We gotta.
Dan has all the links.
I do a lot of good research. That's all there is to it. Yesterday we reviewed the season finale of Preacher Commandos. It's now certified fresh in Rotten Tomatoes, sitting at a very impressive 95%. John, now that you have been with the show finale, you have sat with it for a day. Do you have any more ruminating thoughts about what the show was, where it's going in season 2, the characters, how does this set up Superman, or maybe doesn't set up Superman? What are your thoughts? Just some drifting thoughts now that you've had a day or two to sit on the last episode of the show. Of the series, of the first season.
I still hold my flaws to my chest a bit because I feel like it makes it wasn't the greatest thing ever, but I thought it was a very good show. I feel like season 2 will be better. I don't think it was like amazing or anything, but I do like the comment the single show was better than the entire Snyderverse. Good things are coming for DC. Yeah, pretty much it's better than every Snyder movie we got. That's not saying much, but it's true. But yeah, I liked where it was heading. I still feel like the Nina Mazursky thing was kind of dumb, and but overall it was a good show. I think it did a lot of things right. I think the comedy was good, the animation was good. For the most part, the story was good. It just like I feel like it almost should have been like a movie than a TV show. Like it should have been an animated movie. Like, because 22 episodes across 7, episodes. Well, with the exception of the last one,
22 minutes across 7 episodes. I think.
Which the last one was 28, but it's how it is, whatever. But like overall, I still think it was a good show, and it would have been like almost a 3-hour movie. So if maybe like cut some things here and there, would have been like a good like 2-hour, maybe 2.5-hour movie. But yeah, I think, but I still think it's a good show. I don't like hate it or anything. I just think, as James Gunn said, I wouldn't say it doesn't matter. It just gives the fans who are hankering for like what this new DCU will look like. It gives them something to be like, okay, this will satisfy you until July. And that's what I think it will be. Is Nina really dead? I don't know. I want to believe that she's still alive, and with comic book hullabaloo, nobody stays dead in comics. Not even like the joke for years was like the only people that stay dead are Uncle Ben and the Waynes, but even that's bullshit now because you have like Earth 2 Batman and Uncle Ben is alive and well and kicking for some reason. So I want to believe she's still alive because I liked Zoe Child's performance and I like that character. It just, I feel like, yes, exactly. A nice appetizer. That's what James Gunn was saying. I just feel like James Gunn saw that she was an analog for Ratcatcher 2's character, and he wanted to avoid that with the very end by making her the hero with this big superpower that was going to kill the big monster. When, oh no, she just gets yeeted. And it's like, okay, like I get what you were doing, but it's like, it reeks of Rian Johnson levels of subversion expectation. So, that's the thing that like kind of irked me. And then somebody made a fair point that she was kind of just a plot device for the bride's character development, which, yeah, I can kind of see that as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, I hope she comes back. She has like a weird physiology. They can get someone who's fucking smart to bring her back. If like they're really, I mean, they brought GI Robot back. It's entirely possible they could bring her back. Okay. But you know, it is what it is. Like I'm excited for those characters that we got. You know, King Shark and Nosferatu and Callus the Mummy. So I'm stoked for those. I'm excited for more Rick Flag. Hopefully he doesn't get, you know, warped by pussy, because, you know, fucking come on, man, you're better than that. Even though Frank Grillo is drowning in it.
Yeah, of course.
But you know, I'm just
Uh-huh.
happy we got GI Robot back. Like that was, you know, that was awesome. And then that gives us like some hope for like, did Will Magnus do it? Is he still alive? Did he help him out, or was it somebody else? Because then that gives me
Mhm.
hope for a Metalman show or movie. So, yeah, but that was awesome. But overall, I still think it's a good show. I just wish that they handled, because her, you know, I just wish they handled her backstory a little bit better. Because both Liz and I agreed that the Frankenstein backstory episode and Nina's backstory, those should have been switched. Like when we got, I don't know, I think it was episode 3, 4, or 5. That's when we should have gotten Nina Mazurski's, so her death is actually felt more. Yeah, I agree. Like I think they should be like 30 minutes and there should be 10 episodes. That's, now that we got all the backstory done, we can get like a couple episodes in the beginning that focuses on the new character's backstory, and then we could just actually get into the show and we don't have to, you know. Yes, thank you. Like let's avoid the Ryan Johnson shit. The last thing we want is for this to be like fucking Glass Onion and that garbage. So, you know. But overall, good show. I still liked it, and I hope you guys liked it too.
Yeah. I mean, hey, you know what? Speaking of Frank Grillo, he's been talking again and talking about how he loves DC more than Marvel. He at least enjoys DC more than Marvel, saying that, hey, Marvel's a different machine. You know, the word machine is thrown out on a lot when we talk about the way Marvel operates these days. And he also said, and it's great in its own right. But the thing I love about James and Peter's DC is that it is much more contained. It's so much more personal, and I really enjoy it better. I mean, look, right now it feels that way. I'm sure over time it's going to, you know, grow and become something much bigger, and hopefully that, you know, something that can rival, you know, the goodness that is of the MCU. But hey, right now it's definitely starting out in a much more contained fashion. What do you think, John? Do you think that that's just Frank Grillo's biased opinion, or do you think genuinely?
I think he's biased because they completely and utterly butt fucked his character in Marvel, and he fucking got yeeted after 2 seconds in Civil War. So, you know, I think he's bitter, and I would be bitter too. And he's like, you know what? James Gunn's like, all right, you had an appearance in Winter Soldier as this nothing character. You finally got the outfit in Civil War, and then you got yeeted. All right, bro, how's this? You're going to get a big role in Creature Commandos. You're going to get a fucking big role. You're going to get a good role in Superman. And you're going to be the main villain of Peacemaker Season 2. What do you think about that? He's like, let's fucking go. So, like, immediately James Gunn is making up for lost Frank Grillo time from Marvel. So we're getting that in DC, and I'm stoked for it.
Yep. We got Tony Reyes in the chat. Hello, Tony. We're continuing to go through the DC news of the day before we dive into more of, you know, the deeper news topics that are Lobo and Superman today. So, of course, we got the latest, you know, Rotten Tomatoes, you know, James Gunn, Dean Lowry talking about the Easter eggs from the season finale, including, you know, the team that we're gonna get in the second season. You got Callus the Mummy there, but James is like, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Of course, GI Robot is back. You know, as a much bigger version of himself. He's like got his own Megazord practically, but just the OG head on top. King Shark looks like he's gonna be back, but now voiced by a different person. I think it was Diedrich Bader is voicing King Shark now. Yeah, and Dean Lowry particularly loved the GI Robot thing, which was great. Weasel is back, of course. It looks like
I love how he's saying here like Dean Lowry is the fucking GI Robot fanboy. Meanwhile, it's played by his fucking brother.
I know,
so, like,
I know,
you
right?
Be a little bit more excited about that, James.
Well, I mean, it's also he said he's more of a Weasel fan himself. Like he likes werewolves more. So like, I get it. I get it. You know, it's Weasel's. Oh God, that episode was one hell of an episode. Of course, Doctor Phosphorus is also going to be back. So we are going to get a pretty stacked team in the second season, and who knows, there may yet be more surprises than we already realized. So yeah,
God's gift to humanity.
and again, more Easter eggs, more references in the finale. It looks like he's saying this is the same King Shark as the one from the Suicide Squad. So we know that even though it's not gonna be Sylvester Stallone voicing the character, it is the same character. And it's like, John Economos, he's back. I don't think he's gonna be doing any, he did say that he's not. It doesn't look like so far that he's gonna. Steve Agee, that is going to be doing any mocap for a live action King Shark anytime soon. But he's happy to, play John Economos in Peacemaker season 2, and then of course he's voicing the character of John Economos in Creature Commandos, and I'm sure he's gonna be back for season 2 of Creature Commandos as well. So yeah, again, the show is now wrapped up. It's the first DCU anything, and we're looking forward to seeing where things go from here. Morkatna saying hope they don't kill him off in Peacemaker 2. I hope that Frank Grillo's Rick Flag Sr. does stick around, but at that point he would have already been in more projects than he was in the entirety of his time at the MCU. So you can't complain about that at least. Hello Tony, he's saying GI Gundam, GI Robot took some of the Rock steroids, said Caleb. potentially, and Tony's saying GI is gonna ask about Nina.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. You know what? We'll just wait till season 2 to see how they address that. Now, of course, DC is also continuing to develop the Batman Brave and the Bold movie, but Andy Muschietti, while he's not 100% sure if he's gonna even direct it.
Stop talking. Stop.
It seems like he's more interested in other projects than anything to do with Batman.
I'm gonna write a sci-fi movie. I'm working on Shadow of the Colossus, a movie nobody wants. Here's an idea. You're signed up to direct one of the biggest, if not the biggest superhero of all time. Focus on that, you fucking motard. God damn. Like, really? It's like, oh, Shadow, okay. Who gives a flying fuck about Shadow of the Colossus? Nobody fucking likes Shadow of the Colossus anymore. Nobody even cared when the remaster fucking came out.
Apparently it's still in development.
Here's an idea. Focus on fucking Batman, you fucking noob. God damn. Jesus.
He still wants to adapt it. He still wants to do like 5 other movies. He wants to do 3 seasons of Welcome to Derry.
Cool. Do them after Batman. Like poor Matt Reeves is like breaking his fucking fingers over trying to write this goddamn script. I'm trying my best to create the best thing possible, to the point that this shit's getting delayed over and over again because I want to make the best possible script. And then Andy Muschietti's like, I'll fucking get to it eventually. Here's Shadow of the Colossus. Here's this science fiction thing I'm working on. I don't care. Direct the movie or leave. There's plenty of other better directors that can fucking do Batman better than your sorry ass, since you already butt-fucked the Flash's debut on fucking cinema screens, you dickwad. I don't care if they're studio meddling. You're still getting the credit for making a shitty-ass fucking movie. So fucking do Batman or don't do it at all. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm gonna blow my nose.
All right, in the meantime, let's talk about another rumor. Now, this rumor has to do with the absolute universe. We've already gotten a Batman comic, a Superman, and Wonder Woman. We're going to get, I think it's, Martian Manhunter this year. And look, the absolute Batman was the highest selling comic book from, of any kind last year. So far and away the most popular. Now, it looks like there's a rumor here on DC updates. I believe there's they haven't really provided a source. So yeah, take it with a big grain of salt. It's a trust me bro situation.
But trust me bro bullshit kind of vibes.
But they're saying a script is supposedly being, worked on right now for a top secret project.
Yeah, they also said Jurassic League was happening.
I know. It might be somewhere in the halls of DC, but look, do you think they are working on a secret project that's set in the DC, absolute universe? Maybe like as an Elseworlds project. Whether it's Superman,
I wouldn't mind
Batman,
it because they certainly have some interesting ideas, and it would get more people to maybe read it, even though that has never been the case. But I think it could be a good idea, but it's just like the shit just started. It's like rarely does like a thing just start and you get a movie adaptation. Like I've seen like
sometimes you do though,
but like
know?
sometimes
Yeah.
I've seen like book adaptations. Like they
Mhm.
get the manuscript before that shit is published, and they make the movie. That's what happened with the movie Christine. I think before Stephen King officially published it, they gave the manuscript to John Carpenter. He's like, yeah, sure, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And so they eventually did it, and you know that can work. It's just like I just think that it's with how much they have planned. Let the plan roll out a little bit before, because then you can make the movie, and if it's canon to this absolute universe, well, it might fuck up later shit, and then you're writing yourself into a corner. So I think they should just let it play out. Have like all the Justice League members have like their, it looks like shit. Have all of their, have all of their stories done and over with, like the main Justice League stuff, and then get like a movie out of that. So I will say, out of all these, I like Wonder Woman's logo. I like the silver. I always preferred silver for Wonder Woman. I think that just I like that because like gold is like was seen for years, and the gold is cool. It's just like the silver or white gold. It's just like it's different. I like that. I really like his crest too. I like Superman's crest where it's like it's kind of like zoomed in, and
it's also like a mixture between the Kingdom Come one and like the more classic Superman. It's also much more simplified.
Yeah,
So,
I like that. It's like a simple S. I really like that. And then meanwhile, they're like, yeah, for Batman, just make it a brick with like little points on it. Yeah, that'll work. And it's just like, were you even trying? And it's funny because it's like it's Scott Snyder. It's like, bro, like he works with a lot of great artists. So it's like I don't know why. I don't get why he's so thick. It looks like Frank Miller proportions, and that's not a compliment. It's just like he has.
I don't like the idea that this Superman
needs
needs to recharge at night, and the fact that when the sun's
down,
that's
like, fucking stupid.
That was a little like I don't know, like unnecessary. It felt like for me.
I don't get thick Batman, but I will say I like Wonder Woman's design out of all three of them. In terms of the character itself, the Wonder Woman design is definitely the best. So
yeah. The Lenny's coming.
Why you gotta like fucking? I can write a Batman. I've written Batman stories actually. By the way, I actually was writing a script for one way back when. I was kind of just practicing writing, but I had like the overall like I had like a short story. I tried to make it into a script. That didn't work, but the short story I thought was pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's an interesting take on these characters. It's different, and if it's something that interests you, you can go check it out. Obviously, a lot of people already have, which is why they might even, if this story is even true, they might already be working on some kind of movie idea.
I am a little sour that they're like that Batman uses a gun, and I'm like, I get it's an Elseworld thing, and it's not going to fit into the same continuity, but I never liked that, and it just kind of irks me because I feel like it's feeding into all of the people that are like, oh, why doesn't Batman just use a gun? Why doesn't Batman just kill people? Why doesn't Batman uses child soldiers? Batman just beats up poor people. Batman just does. It's just like I just feel like it's feeding into all the naysayers of Batman. It's like, okay, fine, here's your Batman who's essentially just Punisher light, and it's like I don't want to. The reason I like Batman is because it's Batman. I don't want if I want to read Punisher, I'll read Punisher. So. Which villains did you see for your? What do you mean by that?
Like in the absolute universe, I think.
Well, I don't know. I haven't read that, so I fucking saw the panel. He was like pointing a gun. I was like, what the fuck is this shit?
Maybe it was like the gun for like
the grappling hook. Maybe I don't know. I just saw that. And I'm like, I don't like this at all.
Yeah.
But I'm just confused. I'm just Jose. I just maybe try to reformat your question a little bit.
What's the question from Jose?
Which villains did you?
Oh yeah, maybe specify a little more. Like I think it depends on which comic book. If it's Wonder Woman,
I don't
Superman,
know.
Or
anyway,
Batman,
but whatever it is.
Yeah. Lenny's saying she has the books. It's not a fun or it's not.
I think she meant it's not a gun.
Not a gun.
I have the books. All right, I'll take your word for it.
Well, I mean, look, Lenny's read
I
the
was
books. We
wrong,
trust your
but
take
you
on
know,
it
I
more than
just
John.
even then, I'm still not
Maybe.
interested. I still don't like the ideas behind it. You know.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, as far as DC in 2025 goes, it looks like it's a much more packed year than it was even last year, where we had a bunch of stuff. We've got Superman coming out July 11th, and we have Harley Quinn season 5, which got delayed, but it is debuting on January 16th, so that's next week. And then Peacemaker season 2 starts up in August on Max, and we of course have Supergirl, Lanterns, The Batman Part 2, as well as Clayface, all filming this year. Those are three movies and one TV show. So it's going to be a packed year, John.
You know what else is coming out? I did want to mention this, and maybe we could do a video on it. On Monday, there is a guy named, I'm probably going to butcher his name, David Kocher. And he did this thing where he got a bunch of people to read the first draft of the Superman Reborn script, which would have been the 5th Christopher Reeve film if it ever saw the light of day. And they worked with the Christopher Reeve and Dana Reeve Foundation to help, raise money for the foundation. And they did a table read of the script. So, and that's being posted on Monday. So, yes, thank you, Caleb. And you spelled your wrong. So hopefully, I would maybe like to do a video on that, because I feel like that's I would maybe like review it and see what people's thoughts are. So I think that would, and plus, so that's coming out the same day that Supergirl starts filming. And Lenny, we've been doing a lot. We felt bad because we were doing a lot of Supergirl stuff, and you wanted to see more Supergirl news. We're like, where's Lenny? Because we're doing so much Supergirl stuff, and you always are asking, where's the
videos
Supergirl
on the
stuff?
channel? Like, just go, definitely. We did it. Everything we know about Supergirl.
We hope
it's from a few days ago.
Level of happiness.
Absolutely. We spent a whole bunch of time talking about literally everything we know up until now for Supergirl. But yeah, I mean, and hopefully, you could also Max ride the high seas. Yeah, but I'm hoping Max, I think it's meant to be coming out in the UK and such, like this year or next year. So hopefully
I thought they had a deal with like Sky One.
They do though. Yeah, I think Lenny, you might be able to watch all the HBO stuff or Max stuff on Sky. But with that in mind, John, earlier Jose was asking you, of course, which villains would you have in the Batman story? I think, as Ray J said, she was asking about like your stories, the one that you wrote. Which villains did you use in there?
Well, so what I did, I kind of was doing the same thing of like kind of like an ultimate universe, absolute universe type of thing, where it was like alternate, origin stories. The only one I got far enough into was Green Lantern, and who did I use for that? I think I used Hector Hammond. For Batman, I was using Lex Luthor, but I'm like, because it was like I wanted to build the universe a bit, and then I'm like, but that's probably a dumb thing to do. So I was getting in the middle of like switching that to somebody else. And then I just didn't get, because like, again, I'm a terrible writer because much like Matt Reeves, I take forever. So, and then I got, but it was just one Batman story, but it was like, I was doing a script for it. And like the main thing was going to be Lex Luthor. The Batman one was the one that was kind of hackneyed the most, because I was like, I'm not sure where I'm going with this, but let's see if I can make it work. The Green Lantern one was way more thought out, and I think I did a pretty good job with that one. Then there was then all the other ones. There was like Batman, similar to Absolute. He was poor instead of he was poor instead of rich. And then for Green Lantern, he was like a criminal who like he kind of has the Alan Scott thing where he he finds the rock and it's like a telepathic connection type of thing. And then Superman was like a government experiment, kind of like Soldier, the movie with Kurt Russell. I don't know if anybody remembers that movie. What else did I have? And then a bunch of other ideas. I don't remember all of them, but okay, that's what it was. All right. Yeah, they have a deal, but they can't. That's so dumb. I'm sorry, Lenny. I'm sorry, people in the UK. That sucks. I hope you can watch that soon. But yeah, So I did have some ideas. They weren't great, but I do have like the logos. I think they're in my.
In the meantime, Lenny did say that she watched the Supergirl episode. She did. So hey, thank you for checking that out.
Good.
And we hope you
Yay,
liked
we're
it. Let us
glad.
know in the comments what you thought about it, of course. Yeah, that's and I for one looking at this schedule this year. It's we were thinking, oh, there's only one DC movie coming out this year, but really, even if it is just one movie in a movie theater, you're still getting 2 TV shows on streaming. You're getting Harley Quinn to start off the year. You're getting Peacemaker to finish things up, and then of course we had a little bit of a little bit of Creature Commandos spilling over from 2024. So it's gonna be busy, and then here on DCU Daily, we're gonna be busy with all the behind the scenes looks. At Supergirl filming, Lantern starting to film, Batman Part 2 later in the year, Clayface. It's going to be busy. We don't even know who the director for Clayface is yet. So, when that happens, we'll talk about it, I'm sure. It's going to be very, very busy. And we're so glad to have you guys on board. 2025 for DC is going to be hopefully a banner year and then build on to what's going to be another great year hopefully in 2026. And Jose is saying that sounds dope, John. I mean, hey, maybe if you can get it published sometime, we'll take the fan fiction. Maybe that will be in the new DCU Daily store.
I'll try to hammer out the flaws and maybe just.
We'll be like the unofficial fan fiction by John. It will be like a book in the DCU Daily's web store.
Yeah.
But hey, look, like I said earlier, it's gonna be fantastic. You've got a movie, you've got 2 TV shows, 1 animated, 1 live action, and then you've got 3 movies and one probably the biggest DC show to date. Quite frankly, that's going to start filming later this year. So, and Supergirl.
I just find it funny that Batman Part 2 is filming this year, and that's going to come out in 2027. Yet all these other things they're going to come out next year, and
exactly. I'm like, it's just I'm hoping that they move that release date forward, but I think it's going to be. The difference is Lanterns and Supergirl start filming in the first half of the year. Like Supergirl starts in a few days. Clayface is coming out in the previous release date for the Batman, or not the previous release date in October, but September 11th.
Like September.
So, but it's also a smaller movie, $40 million budget, so it doesn't probably need as much time to film and go into post-production or go through post-production. But with the Batman 2, given that they start the earliest in August, I think, and given that Matt Reeves is still moves slowly, I think James Gunn gave them, an extra bit of buffer time to make that release date. And I think they really like the idea of an October release date, because this is the 3rd time it's been scheduled to release in October. The original release date for Batman 2 was October 2025, so this year. Then it got moved to October 2026, and now to October 2027. So the fact that they're moving it by a full year each time, maybe it's not just the fact that they
when
need
the
more
last
time,
Batman-related film was released in October of. Oh wait, never mind.
I know it was Batman movies have always come out either the Batman came out in March, but most have come out in like August and July. Like all the Nolan trilogy movies came out in the summer. So
because that makes sense.
Yep. Caleb is like, I've got many DC ideas. Well, you know what, Caleb? Feel free to share them with the folks.
When we get that Discord server up and rolling, we can have like a story channel.
Yeah. We'll just come up with all kinds of great ideas. Then maybe we'll get James Gunn involved somehow. We'll get
similar to Superman. We're probably gonna get a behind the scenes look first, and then an official image.
Yep. By the way, guys, a lot of you are watching. We hit that like button. We don't see as many likes as we probably should. We hope you have earned it from you. But of course, we're here 5 days a week, like Fiona saying, smash the like button, shall we? But with that said, John, I think we're done talking about just the main DC news. Let's kind of switch focus specifically to the whole Puppy Bowl situation and Superman. Because look, Warner Brothers has a big focus on Superman this year, as they should. And DC Studios' biggest priority this year is Superman. And now, not only have we heard of the fact that they're going to do this whole summer of Superman, it looks like they're following up with, starting it off a little early. Maybe we're going to get a winter and spring of Superman 2, because Warner Brothers Discovery just announced that they're going to be bringing back the Puppy Bowl. And it's, if you're speaking about it frankly, the way it's being described, at least a Hollywood Reporter described it as basically a means for them to get, kick off some more Superman marketing. So the article itself talks about how director James Gunn and of course his dog Ozu, which Crypto is based on, will be at the Puppy Bowl 21, the 21st annual Puppy Bowl, and they'll debut a sneak preview of the film during the event, and then they will even give out an award to the winning dog, who will get the Crypto Super Play trophy. So, what are your thoughts on this? Again, it's just another way for them to bring this movie out in front of an audience. The show Puppy Bowl airs on Animal Planet, which is owned by Warner Brothers Discovery, so it's part of the whole larger conglomerate that is WBD. So with that in mind, do you think that the special message they're going to deliver, the inside, the sneak peek as it were, and the Crypto Super Play Award, I love the brand integration here from a marketing standpoint, but also for me it's just
really
another great touch point, because
side of the
thing. Like this will be weeks before the Super Bowl, right? Like even days before the Super Bowl. So what do you think overall of just the idea of using this as another launching point for Superman marketing?
Perfect, because I've seen so many people that are like, oh yeah, this movie looks like complete shit, but I'm gonna see it for Crypto. So you're gonna get those people who are gonna be like, all right, yeah, I don't care about this movie, but this dog's cute and I'm gonna go see it because of that. So you're gonna get all those people that are gonna go watch this movie just for the dog, and then maybe they'll eventually like the movie and then go see it again.
Yep. I hope so too. I mean, it's gonna be so cute though. You got all the puppies there, and Ozu's gonna be there, and the Crypto Super Play Award sounds fantastic. Lenny agreeing with us, good marketing, great way to get a family audience rating.
Family audiences, that's good too.
You want to appeal to as wide of an audience as possible, because that's ultimately what they want to do here. And then Jose is saying earlier, brilliant marketing tactic, having the Puppy Bowl angle. Yeah. Agree with you absolutely. Lenny, by the way, asking about Supergirl. Do you think we're gonna get a suit reveal for her before they start filming?
We just said that. I just said that we're probably gonna get behind the scenes thing.
But do you think we're gonna get like a reveal? Like is it gonna be a photo, or like when the Batman did like a motion suit reveal?
No, I think we're just gonna get like a behind the scenes thing, and then maybe like a couple weeks later we're gonna get the actual suit, like for like a publicity photo, like Superman putting his boots on.
Good. You mean super? Oh, like super? Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that. Yeah, the Puppy Bowl, of course, is February 9th. So if you guys are interested, it's on Animal Planet. You can see it on February 9th. So I believe the Super Bowl this year is like later the same month. Let me take a look. Super Bowl.
No, it's usually the same day, right? Isn't it? Isn't that the thing?
Or is it the same day? Oh, you might be right, because it's counter programming for the Super Bowl. That makes sense. Actually, but hold on, is it this year? Yes, it is. Yep, February 9th. It's at the Caesar Superdome. So James Gunn will probably. I'm guessing. I'm guessing that sneak peek might be a new trailer. What do you think? Given that they're going to be at the Puppy Bowl.
Yeah, we're probably going to get a lot of Crypto footage there. Like, Crypto, take me home. And I'm probably going to get more with that of like him like grabbing the cape and him dragging him there. Because there's the rumor that Crypto doesn't fly. He just, but I like how it's
just run really fast.
All right. How about Mark? How about, it would be better if you just jumped off a cliff. I think that would be better for literally everybody in your life,
Just coming after you hard. Oh my god.
So yeah, just
oh my god.
Come on, your last name is Johnson. It means penis. Like, get the fuck out of here. So I think so I think I think we're gonna see more of that scene that we saw a little bit of in the trailer, which hopefully doesn't reveal too much, and like him bringing him home. I think we'll get like a minute or two from that, and then we're gonna get that little bit. So
do you think we will get a full trailer though? Like, do you think?
I don't think so. No, I won't. Calm down. Okay, don't insult me. Fuck you. I think we're gonna get. I don't think it's going to be like a full trailer. I think we're going to get like a clip, but it could be the case. Like, because I mean, I was, exactly. But
dude, tell that to like the 150 million people that watch it.
So this might be the thing that maybe I'm half right. We're not going to get a trailer during the Super Bowl. We're going to get a trailer during the Puppy Bowl. So being half right, because maybe that's what we're going to get. Maybe we are going to get a trailer Like it's going to be more of a trailer, like with a focus more so on crypto to
Yeah.
feed into the Puppy Bowl aspect. Maybe I'm not attacking you, Caleb. I'm attacking fucking Mark Penis over there, fucking being a dickbag. I love you, Caleb. You're cool. Honka honka. Oh,
Great
that's
birthday
great.
present. Happy early birthday,
early
Jose.
birthday.
Yeah. February 8th is
So,
my sister's birthday. It's gonna be an eventful week, that's for sure.
hell yeah. But yeah, I think this is definitely a good thing. I think with that we might be getting like just a slightly different version of the trailer during the Super Bowl because that'll get those fans, and then we're gonna be getting like a crypto focused trailer for the Puppy Bowl. If I were to take a guess, that would be.
Yeah.
I think that's a good guess because again, as people were saying, this is good marketing. This is really good marketing.
Yeah, I feel like if I were the one doing this, what I would probably do is do just a scene, like quick scene reveal from the movie featuring crypto at the Puppy Bowl, and then like they'll probably do a 30-second ad buy at the Super Bowl. That's gonna be like watch the full trailer online, and so you'll get a full proper trailer, but then you might also get like a little scene, or sequence from one of the scenes featuring crypto. So that I'm looking forward
not
to that.
Mark Johnson guy. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, like Lenny's saying, hey, you know what? Why can't we all be friends and just keep it kind and be nice to
I
each
wish
other?
we could be friends, but somebody doesn't want to be my friend, so to hell with them.
Lenny's having some major connection issues. We're so sorry, Lenny, but like we hope that you can, if you're not able to watch us live right now, we hope you can come back and check us out later. But do stick around if you can. We appreciate you being here. Of course, as part of the reveal today with the announcement, we got this. Now this is the high resolution look at the Superman suit. Yes, Geek Informant. Turns out he is not a fan of yours. But John, what do you think of this new look at Superman? I was mentioning earlier that
looks a little green screeny, but
we remember this is literally from one of the sequences.
No, I know. It's just like the blurry background kind of gives that feel a little bit.
But this is the thing about like when you shoot in the middle of a day, like how do you get the exposure right? Like with such a bright background. It looks like this is from that kaiju sequence. You see people in the background. They're either looking up at the sky or running away. They're dressed in those earthy tones. You've got the hairstyle. I remember like the internet, that photo of David Cornswet smiling with his locks kind of flying in the wind. That's really popular and viral. Like this is clearly a look from the movie at that part of the, that exact sequence. And again, the suit, to me, the colors look nice. It looks like here it's a deeper blue. The red's more saturated. The crest, again, like I mentioned earlier, the blue seems to be more hidden, even though there is a blue edge to the whole crest. The yellow, like from afar, or even from this close, you will see more of the yellow. So it's like the red with the yellow outline. But then from a certain angle, if you're slightly off to the side, you'll see that the outer edge of it is the blue that kind of encapsulates the whole crest. So it just depends on how close up of a shot it is on the suit. So we were speculating when the poster came out and the trailer came out that maybe there's going to be a different version of the suit in the movie at some point. But we also know this movie takes place only over the course of a few days in the DCU. So I'd imagine that's most likely going to be just the one suit. It just looks different in different lighting and different parts of the movie, which to me is a good thing because it keeps it fresh, like for a lot of people watching. So yeah, I like it. Jose is saying it looks amazing. Caleb Underwood saying it's not grayish blue and ugly dark red like the Snyder suit. Okay, you know what? Like that's that movie. I'm fine with it, but like they did also up the saturation when they moved into BVS and then beyond. But look, I like the suit. I personally am a fan of the suit. John, what do you think?
I'm hit and miss with the suit. I like some aspects of the suit. I don't like others. So, yeah, so like I like the Kingdom Come, I like the cape, I like the trunks, I like the belt, I like the boots. It's just I don't like the lines in the collar. Like that's very New 52 to me, and I don't like the New 52 suit.
I don't mind it. I don't think it's overdone.
Of course. I didn't even know Tyrone Magnus was still a fucking thing. I thought he got yeeted when everyone was stopped doing reaction content. Blah, blah, blah. Where is Lanterns? That's a good question. I think did they officially say when?
I think they're gonna film it. Some of it in the UK at the Leavesden Studios.
I think some of
that's what TC24 is saying. Yeah.
I think maybe they are gonna actually film somewhere in the Midwest, maybe. But we know when it's gonna be in sometime. The last we got was like sometime in early to mid-February.
Yeah.
So
yeah. By the way, I do love the yellow cape on the suit. You know, like sorry, the yellow logo on the cape. That I enjoy as well. And the way it's done, it's kind of like embossed a little bit. It's not like the one that did in Christopher Reeve's movie, which was more just flatter design. So it feels updated. I think the collar here works well from the back because it looks more regal that he's the way he's dressed versus like the Christopher Reeve suit a little bit.
Neck gets a little chilly.
But of course, you know, the dog that Crypto is based on, Ozu, James Gunn and Ozu will be at the Puppy Bowl, and they will have a special message for us, and I'm sure we'll get a new trailer as well. So I'm excited about that. Lenny's saying I think they will make changes for his third appearance in the DCU for Superman. They probably will update the suit over time.
I mean, that's what happened with the Tyler Hoechlin suit. They kept updating it every season, and it looked very different from the initial season. So yeah, I think that's definitely going to.
Yeah, I mean, Hosea asking like, do you think we'll get 2 suits in the movie? I'm starting to believe we won't because the movie only takes place over a course of a couple of days. I mean, I don't know, John. Like, it's unlikely. I mean, the suit does take some damage, but I imagine he can like get it washed or something. I don't know. Like, you know,
just send it to the dry cleaners like that SNL bit with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think the most we'll get is like a slightly tweaked suit, but nothing major. It's not going to be like fucking Spider-Man No Way Home where he has the fucking like the original suit, then it gets covered in gunk, and then he has to put it inside out, and then he gets the later suit, and it's just like, all right, stop. Like or Far From Home got like the Night Monkey suit, then the Steve Ditko looking suit, and then like hey, we're selling toys. Can you tell? I don't think we're gonna get that. I think we're gonna get like slight tweaks, but very unnoticeable unless it's to nerds who pause every frame of the goddamn movie.
I mean, even the Man of Steel suit, right? Like they just changed some of the coloring. The core design, I think, stayed pretty much the same. We've seen like 3 different versions. We've seen the Man of Steel one, which I think to me is the best one. But then they kind of upped the saturation level. They even upped the shininess of it for what they did in BVS, which I thought that was a little over the top. I was okay with what they did with Man of Steel. But then we got, of course, the black and white version of it, the silver and black, if you want to call it that, in the Justice League movie Zack Snyder did. So we saw the suit, but all 3 of them were basically the same suit, just the colors were changed up or the texture was a little different. I think you're probably going to do something similar here with the Superman suit that David Cornsweet wears. Yeah. But hey, you know what? We're going to get a sneak peek at the Puppy
we're
Bowl.
going to have merch. Like, because Lenny's asking, like, is WB going to be as shameless? I don't think they're going to be as obvious, but, like, they're still going to sell merch. Like, I already fucking, you know.
Dude, Ozu's going to be, like, probably, yeah, there you go. Yep, exactly. And they've already done, like, 3 different versions of the logo. I bought
2 shirts already.
Yeah, you know? it's gonna, you can buy that version of the logo. There's
Are they
like
going to be as shameless as William H. Macy?
Silver
Probably
one.
Not, so.
So, yeah. Well, with that in mind, guys, hey, the Puppy Bowl, February 9th, it's going to be here in less than a month before you know it. And we're going to get a new, sneak peek at the movie. Ozu and James Gunn will be at the Puppy Bowl. And, of course, that is the same day as the Super Bowl. So I'm sure we'll get a full trailer. So we'll be looking out for it. And, of course, I know in between now and then we've got Supergirls.
Damn. That just reminded me. I went to the
scenes updates.
DC shop. I'm like, damn, now I want another shirt. Fuck. I'm not gonna financially recover from this movie.
Yeah. Well, that's what they're hoping for.
Although the stuff seems a little bit cheaper now. I will say the stylized S Shield looks great. Damn, I just want all these fucking shirts. Now I know why my friend has a shirt addiction. Damn. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, Ray J also didn't like the shininess. I didn't either. I wasn't a fan of that. And then Enterprising in the chat. Hello, Enterprising. And he's got a pretty lengthy comment here. Talking about Superman's suit. He felt the simpler design for the suit for Superman was better. The color and the material can do a lot.
I agree with Enterprising.
Mixing and matching feels over design. Fair enough. I get it. But like, hey, hello to you in the chat, my friend. Lenny's saying DCU has more detailed universe, so like merch for Big Belly Burger or like Martian Manhunter's favorite cookies as merch. Yes.
Discount Oreos, whatever it's called.
Yep. Caleb is trying to get started again with the whole Man of Steel thing. I'm like, you want to take it outside, Caleb? Let's take it outside.
I like the shininess. I like the gold. Like I always wanted them to like kind of do that with the Superman suit. Was like have like crimson red and then like gold. I think that would look really cool.
Yeah. 100 quid BB-8s.
Yeah, that's fair.
Dude, those were disappointing. Yeah, honka, Caleb. Indeed, honka. Okay. Much more interesting than Marvel DC. Yeah. Well, look, Star Wars. We'll figure. Hopefully, they'll figure their stuff out because there was a movie on supposedly that's gonna start filming in December this year. The James Mangold one. We talked about it on the news yesterday, so do go back and check that out. Will it make it that far, or will they be like, oh, James Mangold leaves the Star Wars project on creative differences? But hey, you know what? James Mangold also is attached to a Swamp Thing movie, but the latest character to join the DCU, John, is of course Lobo. And Lobo, we know, is being played by Jason Momoa now, who was formerly Aquaman. And of course, now that he's part of the new DCU, he's very excited. He's already got his hands on a script. And the script that he's got his hands on, though, is for Supergirl. So with that in mind, John, I do want to ask you several questions. So I'll start off by asking you this. Do you think that his character will be basically getting set up to lead his own movie through his participation in this new Lobo film? Or actually, this Supergirl film, I should say.
Yeah, I feel like that's obvious because especially with they're bringing in such a big star like Jason Momoa, who headed 2 of his own movies in the DCEU. So I feel like they're going to be, it's like, all right, even if the movie doesn't do very well, I have a strong feeling that everyone's going to love Jason Momoa as Lobo. And they're like, okay, cool. Here's your own movie now. Have fun. And whoever they get would be great.
He's already celebrated, reading the script by the fire for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. It's starting to film in a few days' time, as you talked about. The script says for Lobo's eyes only, which feels like, they told him like, hey, it says for Lobo's eyes only. We expect you to post a photo about it on Instagram. So he did. Enterprising saying, afternoon, me lads. Well, afternoon to you too. Lenny saying, easy answer, yes. The main man is here. Oh, just in time, main man. Hello to you. We're just starting to talk about Lobo, so we were so glad that you were here for it. Lenny saying, Millie Alcock will sell Woman of Tomorrow. Yes, I think she can pull it off. But having Jason Momoa along for the ride can't, do anything but help the cause because he's a very bankable actor and he's probably the most well-known name on the marquee for that film. So Lobo, of course, is going to debut in Woman of Tomorrow. And yeah, I mean, he's currently dating Argio Arjona, so they were both featured in, I think, a social media post where he's celebrating reading the script. But we're here to talk about whether he's going to get his own movie. I'm excited for that. I want to see, if he does get his own film. Obviously, he's already led 2 DC movies before, but talking about a potential Lobo solo adventure in the DCU, John, David Leitch has already thrown his, hat in the ring. He's like, let's do a Lobo feature, my friend. So we'll start there. Do you think David Leitch is a good, choice potentially as a director for a DCU Lobo movie?
I do think so. I think because Lobo kind of has a lot but to Deadpool in a lot of ways. Obviously not exactly the same character, but thanks, main man. We appreciate fans like you, not like Mark Johnson, losers like that. Anyway, but I think David Leitch would be good. It's just like it depends on the writer, and I do think Paul Wernick and Rhett Reese would be perfect for a Lobo movie.
Didn't they? Wait, are those the same writers that worked on Deadpool 2 with David Leitch?
Mm-hmm. I think just like full on, just like okay, let's do Deadpool. Let's actually do Deadpool. Just fucking just go all in. Look up. Let's go. Yep. And I think David Leitch could be good. And I've referenced, Guy Ritchie, George Miller. I think if he can fucking get his head out of his own ass, he could probably do it. And even Bayhem could probably work for Lobo as long as you got a good writer who understands the satire. Then he could probably make it work. But I've mentioned those guys before. Those are not the guys and that I'm not going to be referencing here because I'm like, I've mentioned those guys so many times that I want to, talk about different names that could work.
Yeah.
But yeah, the main man.
Lenny's like, no to Guy Ritchie. We got Elite Easy joining us. Hello to Elite Easy.
Hello.
Thanks for stopping by. Saying
don't
Lobo
get
was
Tim
supposed
Miller.
to
Tim
be...
Miller's a bitch. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they'll probably change things up a bit because now that it's not just a generic bounty hunter, that it might end up being a slightly bigger role, maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
or maybe they just wrote it as like a quick little intro, so it's just whets our appetite for what's to come down the road. Caleb's laughing at the whole Tim Miller suggestion. So, will Gunn include Lobo's interesting speech? That's what do you mean by that, Lenny? Do you mean like there's like an iconic monologue, or do you think it's like an accent? Like, what are we talking about there? The level of galactic absurdity.
Calling every fuck up his stitches and the main man don't fuck with this type of thing. I think I hope that they go full in on that. That would be awesome.
I mean, that's kind of the reason why you cast just Momoa, right? Like he's perfect for that. He's perfect to play exactly that. He was born to play this role. Speaking of which, yeah, the level of galactic absurdity that can be done with the Lobo movie is limitless, and I do not doubt that idea. But John, David Leitch, I think we both agree would be a great pick. But before you get into your picks, I had one pick of my own that I wanted to suggest beyond just. I think I was the one who brought it up, David Leitch, not just because he's himself wants to do it, but I think he could be a good pick. But then I was like, you know what? There's maybe one other director who has already done, 2 movies for DC and is good with action films, and she's in a bit of I wouldn't say like a low point in her career, but she certainly doesn't have the same momentum that she had when she was directing those Wonder Woman movies. I think she's working. What is she working on right now? She's working on like a movie it's not with Gal Gadot.
Well, she was doing a Cleopatra movie.
Oh, she was, yes, but Gal Gadot then said she wouldn't be in there because she's in a Snow White, right? Like there's something happened there. But is she still working on Cleopatra? I feel like that might still be in production. So, I mean, Patty Jenkins was a great, tremendous up-and-coming director. Her Wonder Woman movie, the first Wonder Woman movie, was like one of the highest-grossing movies ever by a female director. Of course, now Barbie has sort of taken over that with the $1 billion plus that it made. But she kind of set the tone, at a time when, there weren't many women being given the opportunity to direct a big IP, film like Wonder Woman. So, and she's, obviously had her Wonder Woman 3 script not move forward under James Gunn and Peter Safran, but then again, they might be like, we were making a Lobo movie. Would you be interested? I wouldn't mind necessarily. I think she has the talent. She's worked with DC before. Elite Easy is saying 1984 actively hurt my feelings. The main man is like, I had to rewind. I'm 2 minutes behind. Well, that's okay. You'll catch up. Don't worry. We're here for you. Ray J saying pass. Elite Easy saying there's got to be other women. Don't worry, we do have a pretty extensive list, so John does have a few picks. And then Lenny saying she's okay, but 1984 was dumb. Look, I agree with you. I think 1984 was definitely a bad day in the office.
Lobo would work, in terms of that, really over the top, corny nature. And I don't think Patty Jenkins can do that very well. So I would prefer a director that can do that very well.
You know what? I'm just saying the connections are there. She's worked with Warner Brothers before, and obviously,
but it was a failure. I don't think they want to work with a failure.
No, but I mean, look, I think here's the thing, though. It wasn't entirely a failure. It's like 1984 was a failure, sure, but also it didn't help that it was the pandemic. But the first Wonder Woman movie was the highest rated movie in the DCEU, and it was one of the highest grossing movies. It was probably the biggest success in the DCEU if you talk about overall being financially successful and with the critics and audiences. So I mean, she was probably the most successful director from the DCEU in a manner. I mean, she didn't,
and then
not in the box office.
It all out with one movie.
Okay, so you're allowed to have one bad movie, right? I'm just saying. I wouldn't mind seeing her potentially direct, whether it's Lobo or not. I think she could maybe go and direct another film, like maybe the sequel to Supergirl or something. She's obviously still supposedly the her Star Wars project is on delay, so it's not entirely died out yet, but. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of, diversify the field a little bit, and she's had, much like James Wan, I think we've talked about in the past, she's a director who's worked with DC before, so therefore, you would imagine that it wouldn't be such a stretch to see her coming back into the fold, and Lobo is a character that's going to be a big priority. She's worked at that scale with that budget, with the kind of VFX that you will need for this movie. So I think from a studio standpoint, she would be a safe choice, if not anything else. But, again, she's got a really big hit with Wonder Woman, and then really not such a good one with 1984. So take it how you will. But I just wanted to put that in there as my 2 cents, if you will. Lenny saying, should Gunn get Lauren LeFranc to showrun Paradise Lost? Maybe it depends on if she's gonna be continuing to do more stuff for the Batman epic crime saga. I mean, I think Matt Reeves might want her around for that.
Yeah.
Elite Easy saying, "Where's Penny Marshall when you need her?"
Oh.
And then Lenny saying that Patty Jenkins would never do a DCU film, and then suggesting Catherine Bigelow, which may or may not be a preview of what's to come. So, John, let's get into your pick, shall we? Who's your first pick for a
Let's
director
get
for a
into
Lobo
that.
movie?
Catherine Bigelow is my first pick as a Lobo director. Now, the reason I picked Catherine Bigelow as one of my other ones, I think she would be good. It's just, again, it would depend on the writer, because Catherine Bigelow, she's done very grounded, gritty action. I don't know if she could do over the top cosmic action like Lobo, but Strange Days kind of push that bounds of what she's, no, she is, Oscar winner. She's probably too
The Hurt
good for
Locker.
something like this, but I wanted to throw her hat in the ring because, let's not.
I mean, look,
just
if George Miller can do a Thor 5, Catherine Bigelow can do a Lobo movie. Why not?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I think she could do a good job. It just, she would have to go really out of her comfort zone and willing to do something like a big blockbuster like this.
Yeah.
Would she do that? I don't know. I don't know what her thoughts are on the superhero thing or doing major blockbusters and that kind of thing. But I think she would be a very good addition, and I think she has a lot of great. I mean, she, like Strange Days, Near Dark, Point Break. Like, she's done a lot of amazing movies. So I think, she the last movie, Detroit, of hers was apparently very good. Again, they're more like subdued kind of films where they're more like saying something, like saying something profound. Like Detroit was a big one, Zero Dark 30 was a big one, Hurt Locker was a big one. So I don't know if she would, like, in her eyes, stoop low as someone like Lobo.
I don't
But
know,
here's the thing, I wanted to offer her hand because I think she's a great director, and I think she could do some of the things that, again, if you want to go out of your comfort zone and do something that's not like your other films, I think she could do it. However, I don't think she would be into it, and I don't think that they would hire her. But I wanted to throw her hat in the ring, and I think she would work better as for a Wonder Woman director, or maybe a Supergirl sequel, or maybe even a male character, like something really grounded, maybe like The Question, I think would be really good for her. I think she could do something like that. But Lobo I think would be too far out. She hasn't done anything. I don't want Bryce Dallas Howard.
She's done a lot of television direction. I don't know if she's ready.
I don't want
yet,
fucking television directors. Television directors.
But I'm saying you can make the leap. It's just, it might be a little early for Bryce Dallas Howard, but like, I wouldn't mind, if you want to take a chance, and you could do certainly a lot worse, but it's not like Bryce Dallas Howard is a bad director. She's directed some of the best episodes of The Mandalorian, so I think she would be a perfectly fine pick. No, but still, I'm saying, obviously, it's in the same kind of genre, more or less speaking. So, by the way, Lenny, we do not know if there was any showrunners as of right now. There were just rumors of some names that were potentially attached, but nothing was confirmed as far as who might be on the writing team or in the writing room for Paradise Lost. We really haven't heard much about that, unfortunately. So we do hope that we get more of that in the future, hopefully some point this year. So, but Ray J seems to like the idea, John. Who is your next pick on this list?
Another one who I think could do it because he's done blockbusters and he's more so known for dark comedy, and he's also a writer director, so he could possibly write it and direct it. But I think Bong Joon-ho would be a fantastic addition to the DCU now, because Mickey 17, that like fits.
That might be his big audition. That's Warner Brothers too, right?
Big cosmic thing. You're working with Batman. It's like it's just kind of perfect how the stars align, because he's just the little guy that could, and he fucking somehow won an Oscar. So
multiple.
I respect that. Well, multiple. I mean, like, like he didn't expect to like, oh, I won best screenplay. This is great.
He wrote just one speech, and he had to
just
accept
one
like 3
speech,
trophies.
That's it. I'm just gonna go get a drink and take my win. And then he fucking came back. I'm gonna just take it's just like give this man a drink. Goddamn. But he's like, I'm gonna sit in the bathtub and just drink away, and they wouldn't let him do that. But yeah, Bong Joon-ho I think would fit a lot better because again, he's done like so much great stuff in the back. Yeah, he has done more grounded stuff, but he's also done in terms of his action films over the top. He's worked with, a lot of comic book people. I mean, he worked with Chris Evans on Snowpiercer. I mean, come on, who else is going to say they got Captain America to say that he eats babies? Like, you have that. You have, as well as working with Robert Pattinson on the upcoming Mickey 17, and which is based on something. So, he's good with source material, same with Snowpiercer. But I think, he's got the like very dark edge. It's very like the comedy would be very, I think Bong Joon-ho would direct an amazing Batman film. I would love to see that. But in terms of Lobo, I think he could do like, again, like just from watching the trailer for Mickey 17, it's that over the top, weird, absurd action. Lexi Alexander could do it, but she hasn't done anything major since then. And a lot of people didn't like Punisher Warzone, but you are the main man. Lobo himself is saying Lexi Alexander. So I would say might as well go with that too. She would be better than probably Catherine Bigelow. But yeah, Bong Joon-ho, I think he has the cosmic thing down now. He has the absurdity. He has the dark humor. S. Craig Zoller's way too grounded and gritty to do Lobo, and I don't think he likes superhero movies. But I could see like him doing like the Green Arrow, like Escape from Supermax movie. I could see him doing something like that. But yeah, plus Dragged Across Concrete got a lot of like controversial shit attached to it, so I don't think they would want him. I think S. Craig Zoller would be great. He would be also great for like a Red Hood movie, like get him to do like a Red Hood movie. That would be awesome. But yeah, Bong Joon-ho is my second pick. I think this would probably be my favorite. But again, I don't know. I mean, he is working for WB, but I don't know if he wants to do a superhero movie. If he does, great. That I mean, I guess so. Well, I mean, it's still not totally confirmed yet if he has the Sergeant Rock movie. That's still basically rumor mill. We don't know anything just yet if that's actually happening or if that's just kind of mainly rumor, because that hasn't been confirmed by James Gunn. So yeah, I think Bong Joon-ho would be a great addition, and I think he would probably fit the most out of all the directors I have here to do Lobo, and it would just be so different, but it would be a lot of fun, and it wouldn't just feel like just Deadpool light, which I feel like could be the dangerous thing to do. Even though he is very Deadpool-esque, have him just do exactly. So whatever they plan to do, I just think Bong Joon-ho would be would be just a great addition. Whoever they do, whatever he would direct, if he does direct a Superman movie, I think Lobo would be great. I think fucking get rid of Andy Muschietti, get Bong Joon-ho to do it. So, I think that would be awesome. But I did want to go to my next pick, which would be it would definitely be a weirder pick, but he's done blockbusters with a lot of humor in them. But he mainly does like straight and narrow horror.
It'd be like a big comeback for him for like the big studio franchise.
But he's done again like weird dark humor stuff. But I think Gore Verbinski would be kind of a cool choice for this. It's just like he's done a lot of like stranger films. He's kind of a strange guy. I mean, he's done weird. He did the Pirates franchise. He did Rango. He's can do weird. Very. I mean, I just like last year I saw Mousetrap for the first time, and that was a fucking bonkers ass movie. So I think like again he could do the over the top absurdity that would work with Lobo, but also he has the prowess to do like big blockbusters, like because he's done the Pirates franchise, and Jack Sparrow follows into like the. I'm not saying Jack Sparrow's like Lobo. I'm just saying like he kind of, he did deal with a guy whose lead was, a guy with dreads. Perfect. So I do think I do think that Gore Verbinski has the prowess to do it. He nails the writing aspect and the tone and the more comical tone, but knows how to do like epic things. Like, I mean, the score definitely helped matter. He's got a good guy who could do the score properly, but like that epic feel, that sort of like he made Pirates cool again. Like, come on, like that should be like, bro, like literally just like made Pirates awesome again. And then like look at the latter two films without his involvement, they sucked. So, he directed 3 awesome Pirates movies. He directed, and I know I know that was Disney, but still, he has the prowess. And I think, due to tone, due to what he's done in the past, I think he would be a really good fit for Lobo. I think that would be really awesome. But yeah, I know, because I know he was supposed to do a BioShock movie. He's supposed to do a lot of projects. He's kind of stuck in like I know he did A Cure for Wellness. That was the last major thing he did. But hopefully he could have some sort of comeback, because I think he deserves it. And I think he's a really good director. Yeah. And Gore Verbinski's fucking awesome. And look at that name, Gore Verbinski. What a name. Like, have him come in, do Lobo, and then, he can have like a career renaissance. That would be awesome. I would hope that's the case. I haven't seen Lone Ranger. I know, like, that kind of, if he popped up in a stinger. Oh, okay. But yeah, I think Gore Verbinski would be pretty awesome. But it's weird that Batman, that his Batman were like exclusively out in the daytime. Yeah. Yeah. I don't like Andy Muschietti either. It's just like, it's just such a weird fucking choice. Like, I understand there was a lot of studio meddling. Most of it was not his fault, but at the same time, it's like, out of all the directors to carry over, why the fuck are you picking the guy that had the biggest bomb of last year? Oh, to give him another chance? Fine, if you want to give him another chance with another Flash movie or another character that's like smaller to build his way back up again. Why the fuck would you give him your biggest character? Are you really hoping that like, oh, Brave and the Bold is going to suck? Well, it's going to make Batman Part 2 look a lot better. So I don't understand why. And like, as you said, out of like the Batman stuff we've gotten in that movie, Michael Keaton looked like shit. It also didn't help that he's like a 70-year-old trying to do stunts like a 30-year-old. That doesn't help matters either. And even then, Ben Affleck, he just looked so awkward. Like, I know he was like, I love how Ben Affleck was like, I finally nailed the character of Batman in The Flash. It's like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't, because it sucked, and you sucked in it. I don't blame you, but like, you still sucked in it. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think Gore Verbinski would be a slightly off the beaten path pick, but nonetheless like a good pick that I think he can, like, he's done franchise movies at the scale that Lobo would be. So I think from a production standpoint, it wouldn't be a project that's beyond him. He's got plenty of experience, and he would be pretty good, I think, with the subject matter. Again, he made, like you said, Pirates cool again. Nobody thought those Pirates of the Caribbean movies would do nearly as well, become a multi-billion-dollar franchise. Quite frankly, the Pirates movies are a big part of the reason why Disney could ever afford to even buy Marvel and, later on Lucasfilm, because that's the money that they used to then buy into Marvel and start up basically push the MCU forward from where it already was. and then later on get into Lucasfilm. It established a foundation for Disney's success early in the 21st century. So, and Gore Verbinski is responsible for a big part of that. So absolutely,
most definitely. So those are my 3 weirder picks, like who could definitely do it. But like, I don't think Catherine Bigelow would be interested. Bong Joon-ho and Gore Verbinski, though, could definitely do it. I think they would be into it, but they were certainly like weirder picks that WB might not go with. But those are my weirder picks. The next picks I have are a little bit more safe. Not saying that they're bad directors. I don't think they're bad directors. It's just like they're less directors with vision, but they do have like a certain tone that I think would fit for Lobo, but nothing like too crazy to like really go out there like I think a Bong Joon-ho or Gore Verbinski would do. Now, the next one I have, again, this is not a bad thing. I love this director. He's a great director. He almost directed a DC superhero film, and that's Doug Liman. Doug Liman has done a lot of great stuff. Again, I'm not saying Doug Liman's a bad director, but in terms of like comparisons to like Gore Verbinski's work and Doug Liman's work, Gore Verbinski goes fucking out there. I think Doug Liman can go out there. I mean, for what he's done with Tom Cruise has been great. But I think Chaos Walking was like the one that was shelved for a while, and then it recently came out and it was like, not great. But he was considered for a Justice League Dark movie after Guillermo del Toro and Joseph Kahn separated from the project. So I think that shows that he wants to do like more like interesting stuff and crazier stuff. And I think this would be the movie to do it for him. Like really go really press those joints in. But if they want to like rein him in a little bit, he can do something interesting and unique, but not go like something like what I imagine what I want a Lobo to be like Mad Max Fury Road meets Deadpool. That's like the kind of insanity that I think. But if you don't want to go that insane for the first movie, because I mean, the reason Deadpool did so well, it reined itself in, and the reason that Deadpool was so good is that Ryan Reynolds was insane, but the movie surrounding him was kind of bland, so it made him seem crazier. But I think the reason that Lobo works so well, yes, the character is insane, but the setting around him of like the cosmic odyssey would also be really crazy. And I think they should do that. But if they don't do that and they just focus on Lobo being the crazy one, then I think like you can get someone like Doug Liman to make things look interesting and have it be. He can do both. Get you a man who can do both. I think he could do the crazy, absurd stuff if he really flexed his joints, but he could also be like, okay, let's not go too crazy for the first movie. Maybe in a sequel you can, kind of like what David Leitch did for Deadpool 2, but, let's, rein it in properly. So I think he can do both, and I really like Doug Liman. And go look up his concept art for the Justice League Dark movie that never came out, because it's really fucking awesome. So,
I mean, my thing would be though, like he's set to work on a Tom Cruise movie, like it's called Deeper. It's a supernatural thriller. They'll also have that space movie where he's, I don't know if it's the same movie as the supernatural thriller where Tom Cruise might, do a whole actual spacewalk. That's apparently on the calendar for Tom Cruise now after he's done with the latest Mission movie, promoting that, and then he's gonna start to do more work with Warner Brothers, where he now has a lot on their office, actually an office on their backlot. So with that in mind, do you think Doug Liman has the bandwidth on his calendar to take on a Lobo movie anytime soon, or will it even matter? Because I don't know how soon we're getting a Lobo movie to begin with.
I don't think we're gonna get a Lobo movie for a while. I would think that that's like 2028 at the fucking least. So I think he would be on the docket for much later on. I don't even know what you've been saying. But yeah.
I think he's doing his best impression of Lobo, the main man after all. So,
but yeah,
he's open to anyone, and that's fair, it's. But yeah, Caleb's saying, let's hope Tom Cruise doesn't land on the moon with a killer whale. I don't know if it's gonna be that hokey, but Yeah, Doug Liman. I'm just saying he's a busy man these days, and he does take his time with those movies. But he's worked with Tom Cruise a couple of times before, so chances are he wants to continue that collaboration. But
Right.
I wouldn't mind seeing. Oh, Martian Manhunter with Lobo would be interesting, Jose. That would be I would pay for that crossover, by the way. But I agree with you. I think Doug Liman a little more out of the box. I just worry that he's already got so much on his calendar that it might not work. But is that John Cena in that photo?
You can't see him, so what are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm just saying this is from 2017. I had no idea this was a thing that he did. Yeah, but Doug Liman is a great director, of course. He's also famous for they started rolling cameras on Edge of Tomorrow. They didn't really even have a finished script, but they made it work. So they made it work. But all right, well, who else do you have on your?
Well, I wanted to do this real quick. This was the concept art for Doug Liman's. This was for Etrigan, and it looked really awesome. This was the stuff for the Spectre, and Dead Man, and Swamp Thing being this huge fucking thing. This looks like a fucking awesome movie. Come on, guys. Who wouldn't want to fucking see this movie? So the concept art for that would have been fantastic, and I think Doug Liman could have done a lot of great things with Justice League Dark. But it is more supernatural, but I do think he could have been really awesome. That would have been really, really fucking awesome. Go look at the concept art on your own time. It looks great. So I think he could have done great things. But the last one I have, Hosea, you already mentioned this guy, Justin Lin. It's funny how that turns out. So the man who made the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies actually seem halfway decent. So congrats to Justin Lin. So
he's also famous for the Fast and Furious franchise.
Fast and Furious, he
knows how to do
5.
action well. When he got suggested.
Working with roided up fucking dudes, so he can make that work.
Clearly,
but Justin Lin, I think
he can handle the egos.
Justin Lin did 4, 5, and 6, right? Those are the ones he did.
Wasn't he involved in the latest one and then he left because for some reason him and Vin Diesel wouldn't get along anymore? I'm sure
which makes sense because Vin Diesel.
And then Louis Leterrier stepped in. Was that Fast 9 or the Fast 10? I think Justin Lin was set to direct one of the latest ones.
Because I know James Wan came in for Furious 7.
Yeah, which I think is the best one to from the franchise.
Yeah, most people think it's the best one.
Yeah,
because of
It was Fast 10. That's when. So Justin Lin. Well, but they also in general that movie was one of the best. Had some of the best, action set pieces. It had very well done acting. Of course, the last bit of the movie, that sequence still makes me cry. But Justin Lin did leave Fast 10 because it was something to do with
he did 3 through 6.
So.
He did 3 through 6, and then he came back for F9, and then he produced and wrote Fast 10.
But he was directing it initially, but he left because of creative differences. But really, the story was that him and Vin Diesel weren't getting along, and he just couldn't take it anymore. So he decided, I'm just gonna stay on as producer. And he obviously had written the script, but then Louis Leterrier came in and directed the movie.
So he's coming out with a film this year called Last Days, which tells the story of John Allen Chow, an idyllic missionary wanting to make contact with the Sentinelese, an isolated tribe living on North Sentinel Island in the Indian Ocean. So he's going to be doing something a little bit more serious, so good for him. But I think Justin Lin would probably be J.J. Abrams. He would probably be the safest choice out of all my choices because he hasn't done anything too crazy. I think he did Star Trek Beyond, and there was a lot of love and passion put into that. Oh my god, he's so tiny. Look how tiny he is next to Idris Elba.
Idris Elba is also not very. He's a tall dude.
But I think I think he would be the safest choice. I think, he's done again with Star Trek Beyond. He did do cosmic stuff, but the biggest problem with Star Trek Beyond is that the script wasn't that great. It was very kind of generic and bland. But I think it's the best out of the 3. I think it was the one that understood Star Trek the most.
I think so too, yeah.
So I think Justin Lin, again, he has done cosmic stuff, he's done action stuff, and he can intertwine a little bit of comedy there. But again, he needs a really good writer. I don't think he should write it himself. I think he needs a good writer. F. Gary Gray What? I know the name, but I don't know what he's
He
done.
also, I think he directed one of the Fast and Furious movies. I think it might have been like one of the early ones or one of the middle ones, like maybe
Maybe the
8.
second one.
I think maybe potentially, but he definitely directed one of the Fast and Furious.
I think
movies.
F. Gary Gray. I don't think he's. I think F. Gary Gray has done too much bad stuff to really, he did the Fate of the Furious. The last, like he's done some very good movies. Don't get me wrong. Like he did, he did Law Abiding Citizen and Straight Outta Compton and like awesome, great. But then he's done a lot of crap.
8 was. Yeah, but 8 was the one with John Cena, but 9 the one. Yeah, I agree with you.
Men in Black International, The Negotiator, the remake of The Italian Job. I don't think he's done enough. Like I would say Louis Leterrier, who did Fast X, would be a better choice because he's done Incredible Hulk, and that was amazing. Like I will stand by the hill. The Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton was a great film, and Edward Norton is the best Hulk we've ever gotten since Lou Ferrigno. There, I said it.
Anyway, I think he understood the character really, really well. He did a good job.
He and Edward Norton understood the character the most. Yeah. So I've been getting a lot of shit because I said that, and I'm like, oh yeah, Edward Norton's the best out of the modern ones. And they're like, everyone's like, no, you're a fucking idiot. I'm like, what? Edward Norton's one, a great actor, and 2, he actually understood the character, unlike fucking Mark Ruffalo. So who made him a bitch. So whatever. But I think Justin Lin, he's kind of safe. So if they don't want to they just want to have like a very like straight and narrow kind of movie, who can who can have like a little bit of fun action. Justin Lin is your guy. I think he would be my least favorable choice out of all of these, but if he can like stretch his wings a little bit, I think he could do it and like really like delve deep into the character to make it work. So yeah, I think Justin Lin could definitely do it. He directed some of like the best films of the franchise, the more underrated fare of the Fast and Furious franchise. So I think he would be great, but I would prefer Bong Joon-ho or Gore Verbinski or even Doug Liman than Justin Lin. But I think he would actually do it, unlike Catherine Bigelow. So those are all my choices. But I also mentioned that I think Guy Ritchie, George Miller, if he gets his head out of his ass, and even Michael Bay could probably do a good job. And David Leitch already mentioned that he wants to throw his hat into the ring and do it. And I think that would be great. I think he could do that very well. But yeah, all those guys, all those gals, even, Lexi Alexander, maybe even Patty Jenkins, I think they could all do a relatively good job with the character.
I think Patty Jenkins could work well.
You got to get a good writer who understands the character. That's the big thing.
I mean, maybe we're all just overthinking it. Maybe David Leitch putting this out there might just be like, you know what, I already want to do it. I think I've done enough movies like it before. And Jason Momoa's like, I'd love to work with him, and all of a sudden we, go with that. Maybe he is the obvious choice potentially.
I think
and
Matthew
he's got the credits.
Vaughn, so he needs to take a break from action. Do something like Stardust again, because after Argyle, bro needs to like calm the fuck down.
Mm-hmm. But good suggestion though, Jose. I think he also wants to do his own stuff. I don't think he's all that interested in
John Vogt Roberts could be good. I think that could be really good too.
But you know what? I do like my Bayham, but I don't think Michael Bay is directing very many movies anymore. So we definitely need some romance in the DCU, says Elite Easy E. Marvel soups are so platonic and sterile. Yes, I agree with you. I don't understand why the Marvel is so doesn't lean into that.
Yeah,
even the
Captain
idea
America
of like family and stuff.
Fucking Sharon Carter was like the fucking steamiest thing. Even that was
like
more steamy than
in
the sex
car
scene in Eternals. So like,
it was terrible, dude. That was like such a tease. Anyway, that whole movie was sterile. Speaking of Eternals, but hey. Lobo is certainly not going to be a sterile movie.
Not sterile.
That's probably going to be rated R.
With like a hard fucking BDSM sex scene. I could see them doing that. Just like as a full just full crazy. Just fucking go for it.
Yeah. Well, hey guys, let us know in the chat if you like any of the picks that John provided. A lot of you guys had some really good options in there as well. I had a couple of things in there that I wanted to add to the pile of ideas. Of course, David Leitch is the one who's already suggested that he would like to do it, so why not maybe give him a shot? He's already shown that he's interested, and he's done superhero movies before. He's got the credentials, and if he wants to do it, and if Jason Momoa is up for it, then why not? Of course, we don't yet have an official announcement for a Lobo movie, but given the fact that they're casting Jason Momoa for the role, and he's gonna have a little cameo, or potentially even more so than just a cameo in Supergirl, then hey, maybe they are just setting this up for a bigger story moving forward. But hey, as always, guys, it's been another fantastic week at DCU Daily. We have done a lot of news coverage this week. You know, so much new stuff coming out each and every day from the world of the movies, TVs, and even video games. We celebrated a few birthdays along the way. I think this week we celebrated it was Elvis's would have been 90th birthday. J.K. Simmons celebrated his 70th yesterday. I'm sure there'll be more of that next week. Liz was here a couple of days of the week. We enjoy doing this, of course, each and every week, and the community keeps growing. We love that you guys are here watching us live. Today was a bit of an earlier episode. And Elite Easy is still typing in a bunch of comments. Fiona's still here. Oh yeah, it was. You know what? The week started with my birthday. Thank you. That was a very memorable birthday. But we hope that you guys all have a fantastic weekend ahead, and we'll see you on the other side. Until then, if you haven't already, hit the like button on your way out, as John was doing earlier.
Comment,
subscribe. And toggle that notification bell so you know when we go live, because we'll be back again with another episode on Monday. Then we'll have more Oh So Curious next week, MC Weekly. Liz will be joining us again. And I'm sure as there's more breaking news with Superman, with any of the other projects, with Supergirl going into production, we'll be here to talk about it. But until next time, guys, have a great weekend. We'll see you on another episode of DCU Daily.
Bat nipples.